Make it up, we got the radio on. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm just rock, 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 just rock. Like a dagger buried deep in your back that you run for cover, but you can't escape the second attack. Your soul was innocent, she kissed him and she painted it back. You should have seen your little face, burning for love, holding on for your life. All that I wanted was a little touch, a little tenderness and truth. I didn't ask for much, no. Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mr. Tommy Bomb, make it up, we got the radio on. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Racing shadows in the moonlight. We're taking chances on a hot night. And for a second there we won. Yeah, we were innocent and young. Swearing thin, but I'm standing here. Not too late. Your shockwave whisper seals your fate. Just like a dagger buried deep in your back that you run for cover, but you can't escape the second attack. Your soul was innocent, she kissed him and she painted it back. You should have seen your little face, burning for love, finding all that I wanted was a little touch, a little tenderness and truth. I didn't ask for much, no. Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mr. Tommy Bomb, make it up, we got the radio on. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Racing shadows in the moonlight. We're taking chances on a hot night. And for a second there we won. Yeah, we were innocent and young. Mr. Tommy Bomb, make it up, we got the radio on.
Hello, friends. How the devil are you? I think, if I'm not mistaken, everything should be working. Welcome in. We should be live on both Twitch and YouTube, as usual, as is now going to be the case going forward. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully you can all see me and hear me. And if you can, please let me know in whatever respective chat that you are using. I would appreciate it greatly. Welcome in. And happy Monday. It is nearly November. We have but a few days remaining of October. I think it's Halloween tomorrow. And we have today and some of tomorrow morning, I think. In fact, no, today up until about 6 a.m., 7 a.m. tomorrow to do the Gwentfinity Votes. Now, I have not had enough time to play this season, so we are going to race up to Pro today. And when we've finished racing up to Pro today, we will submit our votes. I already know roughly what I want to pick, so that's pretty great, and I'm looking forward to sharing those votes with you, if that makes sense. Yeah, very much looking forward to it, and I hope you're all well. I hope the weeks have started well for you. I can see Ewan here, I can see Dilly Dally here as well. Oh, and there's a really nice little addition on the Balance Council that I've just seen. Hey, Raria, I'll quickly show you all. The Balance Council, as the vote is getting ready to close, I know it's behind the banner for you, but you can see closes in and the actual amount of time. That's really great. I think that's a really nice addition because it will remind people of what they need to do, which is nice. If you are over on YouTube, please do let me know in the chat so that I know that it's working, but it looks like it's live from here, and I really appreciate those of you who are joining from over there. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, I will work out how I can better schedule my YouTube events effectively so that particularly our Gwent streams multi-stream properly. So I'll work on that. I'll set a default thumbnail we can use and things like that, because I'm not 100% sure on the logistics of that yet, so I'm working on it. We will go from there. Okay, so also I am currently live now. It is 12:41 for me, which means UK it's 11:41. I'll be taking a brief break at 2 p.m. UK time. It's my brother's first day at his new job. I want to speak to him when he finishes, just see how he got on for the afternoon. As you know, first day in a new job is always going to be a challenge for anyone, really. And he's, I know he was very nervous about going in. While I know he'll enjoy the work, the stress of it is going to definitely be something. So yeah, I'm keen to check in with him. So I will take a break, and it'll be when he calls me, effectively. Even if I'm mid-game, I will just hide my camera and mute my mic. But we shall see. Raria, welcome in as well. And Zakir, hello, hello. How are you doing? Welcome in. Great to have you join us. How are your weeks looking, my friends? This week is looking pretty good for us, stream-wise. I will move today's... I'm still in Prague until tonight. So I will move today's Cyberpunk stream to Wednesday or Thursday. We shall see, depending on what happens, so that we still get a day of Cyberpunk this week. Hopefully, it means we will have Baldur's Gate tomorrow, and we will see from there. We will see from there what happens. So it should be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday streams, but we may have some rare weekend streams coming up as well. Obviously, Arya and I casted the qualifiers yesterday. We now know all of the people who've qualified for Masters, which is really nice. Also very bittersweet, some of the people who you very much expected would be nailed on to make it there, particularly players like Danny Rijkaard, Pretend Spelling Bee, as the defending champion. You were kind of expecting those names, but ultimately, even now in Gwent Esports, there's also nobody there that you're going, oh wow, how did... You know, there are just so many players vying for these places, and there are more places than there have ever been. So there are always going to be different methods of qualification. Some people will like them, some people won't. That is what it is, but I think we've still got some amazing Gwent ahead of us. Later this week, I'm also going to take a look at the Community Gwent Masters that's been announced. Has a very fetching prize pool for a community series, effectively. And that's something that I'm definitely going to be taking a look at and we can discuss, because I think that will keep the attention of a lot of people. Opens running for $500 prize pools, a mid-season running for the same, and Masters with a $2,000 prize pool. And that's a community event, and I know there is more coming from other people. So I'm actually very pleasantly surprised at what's been announced already. Zakir on Twitch, you haven't played this game in a while, thought you'd get back into it. It's a great time to get back into it, my friend. The Balance Council is now in, so we have control over balancing. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. If you've got questions, depending on how long you've been out, quite a lot might have changed. Feel free to ask away here or in Discord. And over on YouTube, Tino, good morning to you, my friend. Welcome in, and thank you so much for joining me over on YouTube Live. I know currently the two of you can't, like if you're on Twitch or YouTube, you can only see your respective area, and I obviously can see everything. That's for TOS reasons, but I'm working on a way where I can combine the two chats visually for you all so that you can see each other. But for now, I will just try and address where you are when you send the message while we work out this new multi-streaming world that we live in. But I'm enjoying it, and it's nice to be able to reach people who perhaps don't use Twitch typically and instead watch my videos on YouTube but have never been able to engage live. I think that's really nice, and hopefully it's something that you'll all enjoy. I've been out of the game for almost a year, so you're sure a lot's changed? Yeah, in the last 12 months, obviously, it's more a lot of cards and whole packages have been reworked quite significantly, so there'll be plenty of cards that you will think are non-existent, pointless cards, and their whole, like, the dragons are now a full archetype in their own right, so are constructs. Lots of bronze cards that didn't exist that you will have laughed about are now not only reworked, but decent. So yeah, and there'll be new archetypes based on the cards that have dropped and things like that. So there'll be plenty of that to get used to. But if you've played if you've played Gwent in the past, I'm sure you'll be fine. Feel free to ask. Multipass? No multipass. You've been so busy this month you didn't qualify to be able to do the Balance Council, Tino, on YouTube. I am going to finish doing it today. I think it's going to be harder than people realize initially, because in a normal month, a typical casual player who plays a decent amount of Gwent will qualify. But remember, this time, you only have half the time to qualify than you normally would, because they want to do 2 balances in November to give the devs the best chance to experience this while they're here and fix any problems that we might encounter, which is why we had such a small window. So don't be disheartened by that. I think that I saw what I'm assuming was someone being disingenuous on Reddit. Shocking nobody. Yo, Lempi! Resubbing for 22 months. Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome home. 22 months, looking great. Really appreciate it. And it is great to have you. There's a work email I need to look at. Apologies. Okay, not going to be able to attend. Yep, cool. Yeah, so someone on Reddit saying that 25 wins isn't enough and it should be 100 wins and only people getting 100 wins in a month should be able to take part. 100 wins, even for the very best players, is 180 games. 25 wins in Gwent is average of 50 matches. That's 10 plus hours of Gwent. The idea of this isn't, and the idea of the Balance Council isn't that only pros, it's everybody should be able to get involved. My biggest worry is that we will over-nerf meta decks with people who just want to see the world burn, and it will cause just everything to be misc mid-range nonsense, because undirected, I have serious concerns about having 30 nerfs in a season. That's way too many. Way too many, and I'm genuinely worried that we will meet the threshold too easily, and I hope that part of this experiment in the next 2 balances raises the amount needed, particularly for nerfs. You could easily have 30 buffs, or cards that are way out of playability, and you could do that for the next 12 months to bring stuff back up to the level. But even half that number of nerfs, within 3 months you could completely destroy the game. So I'm concerned about that, and I'm curious to see how it goes. We will see, we will see. And Boblin has and that's a genuine concern. People don't like control, and a lot of people have emotional feelings about Nilfgaard. But Gwent is a game built around 6 factions that all have certain abilities and the ability to balance themselves. If we destroy one of them, you're ruining everything. It doesn't make sense. Yes, it can be frustrating, but are you telling me that Reavers aren't frustrating in Northern Realms? Keltulis wasn't frustrating in Monsters, or, 2-0 Ogroids now isn't a pain in the arse? And I'm worried that Syndicate will be way over nerfed. It only has one competitive deck right now, and that deck is about to be nerfed out of existence is my concern. But yeah. Used to play a Consume deck, so has that gotten any new cards? Zakir, was Dagon back when you left, is my question to answer that. Only got a chance to catch part of the cast yesterday, Lempire, but it was exciting. We had a brilliant time. Jules, hello over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Victor on Twitch, do you think the discussion on Reddit will be representative of what will happen with the balance changes? Big groups of players in other countries like Russia or China that spend time on dip. So Victor, that's a very valid point. It's a very valid point. And there will be collectives of a community of Russian players, a community of Chinese players, a community of Twitch streamer players, all of which will be able to influence balance. But I think it's very important that there is a collective attempt to influence this. When I say that, I mean with the idea of, hi, I'm Lionheart, and here are the changes that I propose, and here's why I propose them. I want this, and here's why. Because a lot of players, self-admittedly, don't know what those changes will do or what impact they will have. A provision is enough to destroy a whole deck, and most casual players don't want to destroy a whole deck. They don't. There might be lots of silent Nilfgaard lovers. There are, Victor. It's the most played faction for a reason. Lots of people love Nilfgaard. But it's easy to nerf and it's hard to buff. Right? So it's a difficult one. There are definitely some Nilfgaard cards that absolutely need a nerf. There are definitely Nilfgaard cards that need a nerf. In the same way that there are plenty of cards across every faction that could do with a buff. Just because something's control-oriented doesn't mean it's, the flanking engine for Nilfgaard, for instance, right? Everyone gets really annoyed at it because it's an engine that consistently, one of them can get to 2 points a turn. Maybe 2 of them can be 2 points a turn. The Imperial Marine. It's a 4 for 5, super removable early on, vulnerable to locks, and then vulnerable to Tor Punish. Everybody goes on about this card and how terrible it is, and how because no 5 provision card should top out at 16 points. No, they definitely shouldn't. And while I don't disagree with that, this is a 4 provision card that can be worth 30, and nobody complains about it. Why? Because the triggers are different. I understand that, but this is just as consistently easy to get up to 16 as that is, and it's a provision less. So, I think we're all very easily swayed by what we see rather than what is actually great. Sure, Druids overall aren't as good. Acherontia Deckhand, that card makes me sad because it's way better than people think. The Acherontia Deckhand, this card could be nuts, and when we were trialing it in the PTR, we were getting this up to 15, 16, 17, 18 points, but the list that people have decided is meta is the one that you see competitive players playing in tournaments. So they don't run this because it's too greedy. But on ladder, I think this would be better than a lot of stuff, but nobody plays it, so it doesn't exist. Compare it to Percival, 6 provision, 4 power, 2 points per turn. Yeah, Percival again. So Percival can trigger more frequently and multiple times in a turn. and has 2 armor, but this is an example of probably a power crept engine by comparison, you know? And also, Zakir, Bite, thank you for those follows over on Twitch. I really appreciate them. It's great to have you all here. So, but my kind of thoughts on the whole Balance Council thing, it's great, and it obviously has massive drawbacks too. I really hope we change the boundary for a nerf, because I am definitely concerned that within the space of 3 months, there aren't any, like, we've got 2 balances before World Masters. We could have no feasible meta decks by that point. We legitimately could have no meta decks available. It could just be mid-range misc nonsense. That terrifies me, because this balance, I firmly believe this balance, and I'm basing this on what I've seen from Shin's list, which I've discussed at length, the trying to take control of 30 of the, or all of them effectively, and trying to influence more of them to be more buff positive than negative. And while I love the idea, I don't necessarily agree with the cards in there. Nerfing the Vice cards, Acherontia, Ixora, and especially trying to take Open Sesame out of the pool to be created, destroys that list. Syndicate doesn't exist. Syndicate's now not, it's gone from competitive, if that's the case. Nilfgaard being heavy nerfed, well, that's gone. Mutagenerator gets nerfed, and Temple gets nerfed. All of a sudden you're going, well, cry, that list's not, and we're just playing mid-range piles of what, just value cards again. That is not a fun meta to play in or watch, because it turns Gwent back into Gwent the draw your golds game. We had it, and we moved away from it by having this versatility. By having decks that have specific archetypes and strategies and combos that pull off, and then the combos trade for more than the value of the individual pieces, right? So, Chapter of Wizards, oh god, Rarian, no. Oh god. The glorious OG Lippy, Ceres, and Vi will return. They definitely won't. They definitely won't. And also, I know I'm assuming you're being sarcastic, because everyone hated those things too. And it's just an example, right? The very greedy list that nobody will touch will be relatively strengthened. Well, so, Victor, this month, I'm going to make assumptions about what we're going to see change. I expect from Shin's, like, if I'm going to reference Shin Miri's balance coalition, I think everything that is a 3-star vote in there happens. I think half of the 2-star ones do, and maybe one of the 1-stars goes through. Because you're never going to influence all of them unless you add the 3-star stuff in one place to be the same as 1-star stuff in another group. The 1-star votes will effectively be eradicated by any other collective group of people agreeing on their 3-star votes. When the current meta gets obliterated, those lists will rise back up again, inevitably. But they're just greedy engine lists, you know? And I don't think Knights or Harmony have been power crept out of existence. I think both of them are a point or a provision away. They're both still very good and reasonably competitive lists on ladder. Because the randomness of coin, the versatility of matchup, but we always try and balance and have historically balanced or decided what's good and bad really based on perception from tournaments. It's not the same. It is not even close to the same situation. Because you can manipulate and control your coin there, choose your matchups more directly, and as a result the lists, they show differently. If you look at the top 64 that we just did, there's no question that the strongest list in the meta right now is Northern Realms, the Shoop Mutagenerator list. That's comfortably. It had an 81% win rate from red coin, which is its coin of choice. Its lose percentage was only hampered because it had so many mirrors where it lost on blue. SK Rain is one of those sleeper lists. I agree, Lempi. I think a couple of its key cards could do with a cheeky buff. I think using one of your nerf opportunities to power decrease Kraken, I think that's a great idea. I think if you make Kraken 5 power, it's easier to kill. It's using a nerf space for a buff. Good morning, Cross! 3 years of good morning. Love to see it. Welcome home. Welcome home. Skell, welcome in on YouTube. My friend. It's great to see you. Christovel, when are the Balance Council results being published? It finishes tomorrow, so 21 hours from now, Balance Council votes will no longer be possible. I'm just trying to find out when the first wave of changes will be put in. Does it Ali or I'm just asking the question. Okay, so I'm asking the question, but it sounds like it might be an automated thing. Cross, my favorite Prime Gaming subscriber, thank you so much for the 3 years, by the way. Really appreciate it. You got rained on last night? How so, you are? Oh, you are? Yarlaxy? I'm going to call you Laxy. You voted for a pincer maneuver provision nerf. Interesting. Okay. You've never struggled against Choop Erland recently. Well, here's the thing. It was the most successful deck. Even though multiple lists were trying to target it. Everything had Heatwave. Multiple lists were running Bearification. Half of the lists in the top 4 also had Curse of Corruption. All not just to target that, but to target the lists people were bringing. So you've got your Sovs and stuff like that in Skellige, sure. But even though it was being hard targeted, it had an 81% win rate from its coin of choice. But from its not coin of choice, it probably only had a 50% win rate. Now, nerfing Kraken's power isn't a simple buff, says Andy. It makes it easier to kill for your opponent too, and less points on your side. That's true. It's not a simple buff by any means, but it's the most sensible buff. Because sure, it is one less point your side, but the biggest problem for Kraken is the lists that it's played in, that it makes sense in, don't consistently have enough damage to make it proc. So while its theoretical ceiling might be one lower, its consistent average value will be significantly higher from doing this, if that makes sense. It's by no means a simple, this is a guaranteed buff. I agree, but it is the best way we can do it. It's a valid point entirely, you're right. It's not as simple, but cards like that are tricky to buff. You know what I mean? It's a simpler example would be, and another one that I am going to be voting for, to answer the question from Peace, will be, I would love to see Lara Doran have the same treatment. I would nerf her to 5 power, because then again, it's easier for me to kill her the second time round. Right? I haven't finished my Balance Council votes yet. I haven't put any of them in. I've been curious about the discourse, and honestly, I haven't played enough Gwent. So we are going to climb to Pro quickly today. We're going to jump in. We're going to go bang, 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 bang. We're going to win our games, because obviously I'm a talented boy. We're going to get up to Pro. We're then going to put in our votes today. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to do it with you all. Shoe requires skill to play and skill to beat. I think it's pretty one-dimensional, personally, but you do have to have an understanding of your matchups at the high level. And on ladder, it might not be the best list, but I guarantee it will take more nerfs because it's perceived as good in tournament play, right? And that's just one of the things that we have to deal with. Trying out your relics deck, not enough control for rainy days. Okay. Well, Ogroids doesn't seem to give a damn about control, especially on red. It just yeets. No problem. It's actually 4 years. You missed 12 months of subs, so sorry for that. You do not need to apologize, my friend. Just having you here will always be a pleasure. Thank you so much for the 3 years of subs and the 4 years of being a part of the channel. It means a lot, genuinely. Okay. I think I'm not out of tea. I thought I was out of tea. That's amazing. It is. Whenever you play against Shoop NR with Assimilate, it's basically a roulette of why. Yeah. Can get you in Igni or not. Yeah. In reality, that matchup actually comes down to, can the NR player navigate last say? If the NR player can navigate last say against most matchups, it has a decent chance of winning. That's really what it comes down to. can it navigate last say? And if it hasn't navigated last say, can it spread its value out from Erland? One of the best possible targets is Kimbolt, for instance, in doing that. But yes, so because obviously the way Kimbolt works, if you grab it from anything, whenever an order ability is used, if Kimbolt's on the board once per turn, he will pull out a unit of the same power, current power, and you can spread that value proposition. If you win round 1 against Shoop Erland, either push Erland out round 2, or then it's fine. The difficulty is, if that list is on red coin, it's not as easy to do that as you think. And that's why it's so good in competitive, even when it's being targeted, but not elsewhere. Max, thank you for the YouTube subscription. Really appreciate it. Welcome in. Thank you very much for subscribing to my YouTube. Great to have you. My Gwent streams going forward will all be on both Twitch and YouTube. For YouTube, and indeed for Twitch, don't panic. I'm still going to be making curated deck videos and thought videos, stuff like that, that will go up as planned things. But, yeah. On Ladder, I found there are not that many. Yes, Victor, I agree. And the reason for that is, again, there's too many things that can exist on Ladder, which makes it harder to add that random tech, because it might not work all the time. In competitive, you know you're narrowing down to these few decks, you know, and that can be the case. But I would also expect, after the weekend, you to face a few more Ignis and Curse of Corruptions, because the lists had them in. DJ Siggy, how you doing? Do you know if CD Projekt will be lowering the amount of nerfs each month so things don't get over-nerfed? Well, the whole point of this, my friend, is for them to see what happens. I absolutely hope, I don't want them to necessarily, because remember, 60 is the maximum changes that can happen if enough votes exist, right? If enough votes exist. That doesn't mean we'll always get 60. 30 buffs, 30 potential buffs, 30 potential nerfs. Let's ignore the fact that we can use some of the nerfs to buff things for now. I think what actually needs to happen is that we need to change the threshold. Buffs are fine where they are, nerfs need to be harder to attain, because otherwise we will end up with an over-nerfed game and just misc mid-range piles everywhere, and it will suck. Hello Maria over on YouTube, I'm doing fantastic. Do you think there will be Gwent for years? I do. The community Gwent Masters has already been announced with a prize pool that nears $4,000 or $5,000 over the year, and it's got a full structure and tournament format. I'm going to be trying to get in touch with the people who intend to run that, try and do a bit of an interview and talk to them about it and see, you know, that's amazing. There's another project as well that I'm acutely aware is coming, that I want to talk to them about as well. So, yeah, be interesting to see once that's announced. I think we could end up with more stuff. Yeah, I didn't know either. I saw a video. I'm going to be trying to speak to Matol, because from what I can see, he's got Gwent Opens planned. I think it's 3, it might be 2 Gwent Opens, each Gwent Open with a $500 prize pool, a Gwent Mid-Season with a $500 prize pool, and then Gwent Masters with a $2,000 prize pool, plus other stuff in between, so there's a lot there. I hope that that is already in, pre-funded, ready to go. I'm not sure where I don't know the ins and outs, I've just seen some details. I would love to get in touch with Matol and speak to them about their plans for Gwent in that format, in terms of advertising, casting, tournaments, who's going to be running the stuff like that, because I'm very, very interested, and I do think the community does not want this to die. We all know it. Yozara, thank you for being over on YouTube as well, and Christoph, you agree that nerfs need to have a higher ceiling. I think we've all collectively, when we put the emotion bit aside, I think we all know that that needs to be the case, because it's so much easier to get people to agree on a nerf, because a nerf is a card that you see too much, and a buff is of a card that nobody sees, so you have to have that collective discussion on it, which is what I'm trying to do, what Shimiri's trying to do, various other content creators or pros or whatever are trying to do, right? Maria on YouTube says, this could be an interesting project if people can handle it, because I'm not ready to say goodbye. No, none of us are. Myself, my better half, Ghost Aria, we have always said if there is a Gwent community that wants to watch Gwent, we will make Gwent content because we love Gwent. We don't want to stop playing Gwent. You know, we enjoy playing Gwent. We finished the qualifiers and we're both just playing games of Gwent last night because we like Gwent. The community's amazing, and we all know, most of us have played Gwent, most of us have tried other card games and gone away or come back. Nothing does what this does. There are plenty of things that Gwent did wrong, and plenty of things that Gwent could do better, and could have done better historically. Nothing does what Gwent does. Nothing plays like Gwent does, nothing feels like Gwent does. I've played Magic, I've tried Runeterra a lot of times, and it just didn't ever sink in with me, albeit I can acknowledge what an amazing game it is. I played a lot of Hearthstone before Gwent came around. Paper-wise, I used to play Paper Magic. I play Paper Lorcana now. Warhammer 40k Warpforged is really good fun, and I am enjoying it and will be playing more, but... You know... Yeah. The way this game works, nothing else. Yeah. And plenty of people have gone away. Some of them have gone away forever. Some of them have come back. And that's okay. That's alright. I understand. And it's completely okay to be done with something and to move on from it. I'm never going to slam those people for doing it. I've got respect for them for taking the leap, ultimately. But I still like the game. So, it was interesting to see the various ideas, stratagems of the various streamers in regards to the voting. Yes, that's very true. And I think enough of us still being here also means that all of us will have some influence, but we're all in this little world where we assume only Twitch exists, when in reality there's a huge core of people who the Chinese community don't, they watch something completely different. They don't use Reddit, they communicate elsewhere. Same with, you know, that's a whole thing. What's the best Skellige deck at the moment? There is one good Skellige deck at the moment, and it is Patricidal Fury, Svalblood, Sove. All of the others are middling, effectively. Like Druids is okay, but needs a point here, a provision there. Suffers from its lack of control as always, so can be really funky into certain matchups. Warriors is just Misk at this point. Rain is super greedy, super risky, blah blah blah. Self Wound is inside that list, so kind of is its own thing. Like, you know, the Pirates list got completely destroyed as soon as Magic Compass thingy disappeared. You know, which I hope comes back in this coming patch, and I think that could be a great example of buffs opening up new decks. As soon as that disappeared, that whole list just vanished because it was built around that combo, and the card was planned for that combo, so, yeah. Hey, Laffalate, good to see you. Huge amounts of Chinese and Russian players don't interact with the English communities, and indeed the English communities don't interact with them because we don't speak the same language. So yes, that's very true, and I'm sure there will be waves of different amounts of buffs or nerfs coming in from the metas from those communities. It's less the case now, but still does happen. 2 years ago in Gwent, you would regularly get a couple of lists and be, oh my, that Chinese meta breaker of these 2 or 3 lists that a couple of the Chinese players have been playing. Oh my word, they just completely ripped through the current perceived meta over here, you know? Which is really, it's like, oh wow, and that does still happen to an extent. Obviously we over-exaggerate, but yeah. Rain's always been super greedy, super risky. There's always the guy running. Well, Squirrels now are consistently available, and lots of lists run 2 of them by choice. So it does make it more problematic, but yeah. Hey, Dalmatian. I came from another card game, that's why you wanted to get back into it, because you remembered it being fun. Gwent's always been fun. And that's the, you know, it's gone through waves, bad metas, difficult spots, mostly historic. And, you know, I think we all take for granted just how consistently good Gwent has been. They've constantly tried to adapt, constantly tried to improve and change how they deliver patches, how they deliver reworks, how they deliver balance, how they deliver new content. It's evolved every quarter, half year, year, expansion cycle, and they've constantly tried to improve it, which is really great. The fact that they've also been constantly improving while the size of the team has constantly declined is an absolute testament to the work that they do. You know? So yeah. Lucas over on YouTube, you like Pirates, but it's a struggle in certain matchups. Yeah, it really is. It's super tough right now. We'll get annoyed by filling the slot and vote randomly. Killer Bean, I don't know. It's harder to qualify for it than I think a lot of people think. And from my experience, for instance, I have had lots of people message me and say, hey, I've got some thoughts on balance here, and here, because I've qualified, but I honestly don't know. Do you have any, like, what do you think of my, here's why I want to do this. What do you think of this or this or this? And I'm more than happy to chat. The current meta is great, isn't it? Lots of playable. So Scoia'tael is not too weak. Scoia'tael's actually really great right now. I think there's a couple of Scoia'tael decks that are maybe a fraction from good. But if one of the buffs is the thinning Saskia goes back up to 4 power, for instance, or God forbid she gains a provision, there are 4 or 5 amazing Scoia'tael lists. The one I'm going to play today, the Milva Guerrilla Tactics list, is brilliant into the meta right now. Symbiosis is fantastic. Elves are bonkers. Elves are so good and so underrated consistently. Harmony's still very good. Dwarves are actually decent, which is mind-blowing into some of the meta as well because of the control input. So actually I think it's in a good spot. For me, Skellige and Syndicate are the two that have the least variety right now. Syndicate has one list that has been progressively nerfed, and I am really worried that 24 hours from now it will be dead and Syndicate won't exist. Or rather won't be worth playing competitively because it's always perceived as either the best or the worst because it's the hardest. And Skellige, as I say, has Svalbard Sove, and everything else feels demonstrably worse currently. The meta has lots of variety, lots of versatility. The very, very top competitive, fixed play, effectively, has got a structure of about 8 decks that they've decided are the 8 decks that are the best. That doesn't mean there aren't another 20 that if people brought a different lineup wouldn't smash through that. That's the thing that people miss, right? Aren't the changes going to be in? The changes will be in tomorrow. No, there's a whole second round of voting. Wait, weird question. Okay, so I can give you the update. In 20 hours and 43 minutes, voting for the Balance Council will close. There will be a very short window where those changes will then server side come down. You'll restart your game. I don't even think you need to restart, actually. No, you don't need to restart, and it will just update. But you probably need to restart because it's Gwent. That's it. They're in. There will then be patch notes available on playgwent.com, showing faction by faction, and go from there. Remember when Townsfolk were OP in Syndicate? They can still be decent, they're just memeing. Yeah, but so there are 2... Normally it would be a monthly thing, paper, but right now, instead, it is... 1 second, just checking through all of these million messages. Yeah, so we'll still get those. The balance changes will come through. Normally it would be once a month, but they're trying to get as much as possible. Forgive me, I'm just looking at visa stuff. Awesome. Okay. I do viewer games sometimes. It just depends on the day. Like right now, I'm just going to be playing to get up to pro so I can do my votes. If I've streamed a lot of Gwent in the month or I fancy a bit of a shake-up from the meta, sometimes we have just a day where I'm like, yeah, I'll just play you guys. Let's do viewer games if you want. It is something we do, and we have various members of the community who like to challenge me to viewer games. And if I can beat certain lists in certain ways, they gift me subs and stuff, which is interesting. But it is something that we do. It's not something I do every stream by any means, but it is something that we regularly do. So, with no further ado, how many buffs before Neneke and Stennis are playable? Many. I'm going to jump in and we're going to start with this Milva list, okay? Control GT or Milva GT list is better. This one. This list is really good into the current conquest meta. Lucas, would I run a community tournament? Ghost Aria and I typically run a community tournament every month, actually. We've had 5 or 6 of them now. We regularly run community events. I think there might be one at the end of November, but it depends on a lot of things happening around Masters, and also we are very busy right now. The last month, obviously, we got married, so we weren't around in order to run it. But yes, we do regularly run community tournaments, and we'll continue to do so. They're really good fun. Sometimes we have special rules, other times it's standard rules, and we go from there. Sometimes there are specific deck building rules, whether we ban set cards, blah blah blah. Where's Arya? Tell her she doesn't need to work there. Arya is at work, sadly. Just got notifications about that. Yeah, exclamation mark Discord, my friend. Jump in the Discord. You will be able to get all kinds of info in there. When you join the Discord, make sure you click the areas you want to see as a new joining person. So Lion fans, Arya fans, so that you get content. It'll unlock other areas. Hey, Kafka, great to see you. What on earth is this? Alpha Werewolf Fruits of Isgith. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this was not what I expected, but I do now have something as simple as a squirrel to open up here. Concerned that whatever this madness is could run a random pred dive, so while I would love to have this protected by extra points, can't afford to do it. Fruits of Isgith has the weird potential, and because I've got no gauge of what I'm facing, I haven't faced anyone with fruits in a long time. As a result, I'm going to take the safe route. THH over on YouTube. Hello, my friend. How are you? Great to see you. Yeah, it could well be a Bloody Mistress deck. Yes, it could be Gurney spam. It could just be pure Thrive. It could be mid-range, you know. Could be kind of a mid-range Thrive list, for all we know. Monster hand buff. Well, I mean, the Alpha Werewolf would imply that's the case. I don't know. We'll find out. Running Alpha Werewolf, yeah. We'll see. With constructs would make sense if it's kind of the control-y, yeah. But I've not seen this list at all. Milorad over on YouTube says that he thinks fruit should be buffed in terms of, you mean the provisions? I'm inclined to agree with you, actually. The only thing I would say is fruits is way better than I think most people realize it is, as it's a leader ability that plays over 3 rounds for a lot of points. But I wouldn't be averse to it getting a buff for a single provision. I wouldn't be averse to that. I definitely would be okay with it. Yes. I wouldn't mind it. Eskel, Erendite, Mamuna, Riptide, Heatwave, if it's that list. Okay, that'll be interesting then. So far, they've managed to get themselves slightly ahead a few times. It's important for me to also keep myself ahead. Don't need to use this right now, so I'm not going to. I'm alright. Is this shipboard waiting room? JCM, it will be returning. I have had confirmation that it is planned to come back. Yes, as you know. So, you have no idea how frequently I badger them about this, and it may actually be the case that because you've asked me so many times and I've asked so many times, they've made it happen. So, you can feel like, you know, you feel good when it finally turns up. And when you do finally get it, I expect you to buy it through my GOG link. GOG? What is returning? The thing returning will be, there's a ship board in Gwent that has never come back to the shop after it very first came into Gwent. Okay, so let me just do the maths very quickly. This is fine. We drop this, this, and ping. That's great. And it's finally returning. It's a board that many people have wanted. I can't even remember which expansion it was originally paired in with now. It's finally being available as something on its own. Much to the delight of many people, I can assure you. Ooh, that's a decent looking hand. That's not terrible. My concern is, I've got an opening card of Milver. I can work out from there what I'm doing. Okay. Let's see. So, okay, we're drawing perfectly. Regardless of which one of the two of these I decide to use for Simless, I can unbrick. I haven't got to worry about Milver, and I'm getting a Nero and Heatwave the next time out. That seems pretty good to me. We're going to confirm our choice and leave it alone. Shiru is going to be tough to get the value I want here if this is what it looks like, but I can have Shiru at 3, I can have Shiru at 6, I can have it at 7, 9, 10, or any denomination of paired with this Vial of Forbidden Knowledge, so it's not as difficult as perhaps it might look. Now the question is it worth me pushing? I'm inclined to think yes. Is there a link to this list? I will put a link to this list into our spreadsheet. I will do it after this game. After this game, I will add it in. Exclamation mark deck should usually show you our spreadsheets. Get a nice Shiro on the Mamuna Griffin combo. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. That could well work, yeah. The Mamuna should be at 11. Yo, Zoe! How are you doing? How are you doing, my friend? Great to see you. Yeah, you can push against Fruits. My worry with Fruits is I'm playing into its leader ability when I push. You know what I mean?
Satisfaction.
And if it doesn't work over on YouTube yet, Lucas, I apologize, because it might not, in which case I will paste a link for you. Yeah, their leader wants to play 3 rounds. That's my concern. I'm giving them value, right? But we shall see. We shall see what we get from this. I have 3 6s. I do not have 3 6s. Because if I move this, Milver will hit it to 5. And I suppose I could move this and then this, right? 2 leader charges. I use all of my leaders then, but I burn my own maxi. So I have to buff this. It's a possibility. We'll see. But that's not going anywhere. None of these change, right? So, it is a possibility. Plural makes no difference here. I don't need to do it yet. Right? Yeah, exactly. When the fruits get to 6, then it's a consideration. The problem is, between now and then, what do you play as a result with this hand? And the answer is not a great deal. So I think I have to take it now. Don't love that, but it also leaves me in a spot where I brick my own my own Milver. I don't have a short round if I use the Simless now.
What do you want?
Okay. We'll do it. Oh, I want to just check another work email. I apologize. Love that. Wish all of Milver's damage was in order. No, I kind of don't. I'm kind of happy that I get the versatility of it. Okay, the Erudite's already at 8, which is horrible for us. And it does make their short round really problematic for us, if we're honest, right? No movement on this now does suck. Mod settings have got you twice. Sorry about that. I can't see that right now, actually, because I've just got like a multi-chat. So I don't see those things come through. So apologies for that. whatever is happening there.
Only one with no sense.
I'm going to go with the idea that based on... Yeah. Based on the idea that we got rid of their Aneromancy and they've used Lady of the Lake, Erendite's now sat in here, I don't necessarily think they're going to have everything. Only 2 more weeks there and you move to happiness. I'm so pleased for you, my friend. I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Sad that obviously today is a day that I'm returning to England. Sucks. Because that just fills me with misery, if I'm being honest. But, yes. Just because Arya obviously isn't coming with me, she's working. Yeah, he has a 24-point werewolf, most likely. See? Well, we don't love that. This is a problem. The weather will cheer you up? Seems unlikely, bud. Not gonna lie to you. It seems unlikely. We've got Storm Kieran? Yeah, I've seen. Unfortunately, yes, I'll probably be leaving before she gets home to meet my flight. Which obviously I'm not happy about either, as I'm sure you can imagine. Right. I'm trying to just force reach. They're never going to... If they're going to try and catch up now, they'll play something huge. They heat wave here. I'm up by 10, 11, 12, so let's make it 13, 14, 15.
It'd be a shame if they were to...
And make it harder. Obviously, I have the tallest unit right now, but if they don't catch now, I have a pass. If they do catch now, it's a card that will let me do this. Typically, only 1 Dow, that's not enough for them to catch. And now I have to take the pass, but I'm going into a round where I've got a Nero, Heat Wave, and probably realistically a backup plan at the end, so I can effectively delete everything they've got, right? I play no units. I render the Erendite useless because we know they're coming in with a very, very powerful Erendite. So we don't play any units on the board until the very last turn, and we just delete, delete, delete. Yo! Wow! It's a cool deck. It's a really cool deck. You're moving jobs to a better place. Yes, Zoe, you are indeed. And I'm very pleased about that, my friend. Okay, so we take every mulligan here. Oh, no, okay. I think we're very happy with this overall. They have to go first here, which is great because it's... Yeah. And I think it probably ends up being this is the other card that I grab if I get the opportunity to use it. Backup plan gives a unit? Yes, it does. And I'd love this instead. But we're not using backup plan until it's our last card. I don't think. We'll see. If it comes to it, I'll discard it. I can't remember if offering was the card after this. I don't think it was. So we'll hold off now. We'll hold off. Let's see what... If they're sensible, they'll have mulliganed Erendite in this spot. But we'll see. We will see. I can get offering with a Nero. Yes, I can. The only problem with offering into a Nero is I'm buffing something I'm never going to get, which sucks. I wanted offering here instead, right? Because then I could have grabbed the final unit and had a chance. Okay, they have Incubus. That sucks for us. Of course they have a second one. That renders us at the mercy of this. And I think that might... The second one of these has absolutely screwed us. So now all of a sudden my strategy doesn't help. Incubus basically is GG, yeah. So now I have to play differently. Offering my dwarf Yazara, that would have been so much more sensible. That would have been so much more sensible if I offering my own dwarf, yeah. That is exactly what I should have done. Yeah, if I offering my own dwarf, we have a shot. I don't even know if... I don't think we do, though, honestly. By offering my own dwarf, they're 16 points ahead of me. and there was no one card that could have dealt with it, right? I don't think we could have afforded to do that. The Incubus is just too many points to bring back. Mamuna here is a lot, because of course she's going to play for 20. Yeah, we're just screwed. It's unfortunate, but this is basically unwinnable for us now. Has been for a little while. Boo. Yeah, don't have the points. Damn. See, this list is great most of the time, and I actually think we'd have been better not bleeding in the end. We probably should have just stayed. Not let them build up the air and die. Yeah. Yeah, GG. GG. As soon as they find the... Yeah, we're in trouble. Nicely played. Okay, well that's not ideal, and it hampers us a little bit. It didn't have enough control to deal with all the big units they're putting on the board. No. I haven't voted yet, David. I have yet to vote. We're going to do it today. I have... it's currently 12:30, so 90 minutes from now I need to take a short break. I will take that short break.
Pride is all
Where's this?
left.
Okay. Yeah, so that is what I'm going to be doing. And then we'll be continuing. You need wins to vote. You don't want your Vatier deck? I do not, no. I don't want it either way. But I appreciate the offer. That's nice. Okay, so our opponent is... Oh, okay. We're old-fashioned precision strike elves. Telianine and Feign Death. Interesting. None of the newer stuff. All of the older stuff. Okay. Okay, that's an interesting choice. In which case, I will play that further forward, making it harder for them to kill. They have lots. Zoe, enjoy your lunch, my friend, and thank you for dropping in. Really appreciate you. Ba 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 da 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 da. For disrespecting Vatier, it's okay. I think old Vatier might actually have been better than the current version. Luke, can you imagine the game speed? The speed the game would be destroyed if there were no requirements to vote. Oh, Lucas, completely. It's one of the reasons why when they knew what was coming, they started discussing how can we implement the best version of this so that people have agency, but it doesn't feel, you know. Balance council results in 2 weeks. No, we get them tomorrow, and they're live tomorrow, my friend. We get them, and they're in. That's it. No messing around. No ifs, buts, or coconuts. They come in you know, I think it's what, 19 hours from now, and 15. That you can stop voting because there'll be nothing left. 15 minutes after that, it's in. I do not see Twitch redeems. No, I'm trying to work out how I can do that. As it stands, voice changer. Oh, that doesn't work here, bud. Sorry, I'll do it tomorrow. You won't make the requirements, unfortunate, Dave, but maybe next time. It's half the speed. You get half the time this time around, which obviously is a difficult one, right? Yeah, it is a difficult one. Nice, cheeky backup plan, getting rid of that. Boo. Boo, hith boo. Love Riot Saboteur now. Really nice card. I think I'm okay to just do this, and we always kill this, because obviously we're talented. Damn. And the next vote then should begin immediately as well, I think. I believe so, yes. But I'm not 100% sure. My understanding is yes. And Ulez, I'm afraid, as well. We'll see what comes in. So that's got to go. That's a heat wave, effectively. Actually, no, it's a Curse of Corruption. That's a Curse of Corruption, right? Could be 2 leader charge. It could be Frenzied Dow plays and does 4, 5, single leader charge. Okay, so we're going to do that instead. 50% cock, we believe. We always believe, my friend. You know, we're believers in this channel. But not today. Not today. Was the top 16 stream cancelled yesterday? No, Spartan, it was top 64. But no, while YouTube did fail, we managed to get it live, and Arya and I streamed and casted the whole thing. It was fantastic. It was really, really good. Yeah. Is there a reason I'm waiting on my stratagem? I don't need to click it yet. Don't need to click it yet. Honestly, no. But I don't believe they have the reach. And I don't want to give them an easy 5 power unit to thin this either. I know this is constantly in range, but the armor feels like they're losing points. You typically want to thin. So I'm just trying to make it slightly more awkward for them. Here come the waylays. No, it was on mine, Spartan. It was here. Was here, my friend. I will flip it now, though. The thing is, when I flipped it, it kind of indicates I'm looking to pass. So my opponent's now going, can I do it quickly or not? And I'll go away. If I flip it much earlier, they're always considering their reach differently. If I want to force their brain, they're going, right, they've clicked their stratagem, they're going to pass. I don't want to get locked in here, so I'm going to go away. And I've only played stuff I want to play, so I'm quite happy in that spot. The squirrel is actually pretty decent for me. We get rid of one of the waylays, reduces their impact. Missing Heatwave and Curse of Corruption kind of sucks, but I love the offering in this matchup. How they publish the vote results, there will be patch notes on Play Gwent straight away. By straight away I mean in like 10-15 minutes, is my understanding. Okay, okay, interesting votes. I will take a look at them after this game. Yeah, because it just gives me that extra little bit of reach, and my opponent might not consider it. You know what I mean? Yeah, like when you see Siri Nova, you go, right, so they're passing. Because you don't want that on the board by choice any sooner, right? Right, that can go. So yeah. Any additional info on the votes? I believe at some stage they might, but I don't think that's going to be in the automated publishing. I could be wrong, and I will try and find out for you. Yeah, definitely the more info, the better. So someone's just asked us to look at their votes. A power increase to Cleaver's Muscle as your very top choice. I don't hate it, and I think it will open up some stuff. Power increase to Nithril. I'm not saying Nithril doesn't need a power increase, it just wouldn't have been one of my first choices. And I love Ruin as a card, so I'm more than happy to see it get voted in. Power decrease, Sove and Sigvold. Okay. I think a lot of people will agree with you on those. I'm a little less sure on Sigvold particularly, but I don't think many people will argue about Sove. Rainfarn. Seems like a niche one, but I can understand. I don't think it's ever been too... That's a big thing to give me. Well, I can still pass. Oh boy. The only consideration to keep playing here is that I can Heatwave for free. Opponent hasn't thinned, yeah, plenty of bricks. Yeah, they've only got 3 waylays now, and the long round isn't great for them. They've got all of their bricks here as well. They obviously can play one more card, we'll see. I think it's worth the pass there. But yeah, so they're okay. Provision increases, Jan Calvate. I don't think provision increase is the way to go for him. I think power decrease is, because the problem, he's worth the value of his provisions. He's just too much tempo, but I agree he needs a nerf. Mutagenerator, I think universally people will agree, and it might be most people's number 1. Golden Neck getting a provision increase. I only agree with that on the basis that simultaneously we would buff Magic Compass, Roach, and Knickers again. Otherwise, we're nerfing something that doesn't exist competitively, which makes me sad. Making synthesis cheaper, sure. Pulling the strings, I completely would love to see that go back down to 5. Circle of Life to 4 is interesting. Didn't expect the pass yet, clearly. Long round, I think we should be fine. As long as I now don't brick, my hand is looking pretty great. Yeah, so it's an interesting set. Ultimately, there isn't necessarily a right answer. Oh, God. Let's go! Pulling the strings at 5 was really tough. But here's the problem. There is one playable Syndicate deck right now, and it's about to be nerfed out of existence. That's been taking consistent nerfs. The deck that Pulling the Strings used to be good in will not necessarily be good now. But Pulling the Strings has a high ceiling, but if Sesame is at 6, that deck's dead. Vice is dead on its own if Sesame is 6, unless we unnerf Acherontia and we unnerf Ixora, and we can't do that because we can't control their Vices. So those cards, it's just, that whole list is dead. As soon as Sesame goes to 6. And yes, Wazzy, you can't say cheese in this channel. Yeah. Is Bounty Syndicate still any good? No. It will win some games, sure, but it's misc 50% win rate occasionally kind of thing, rather than actually good. Why is that word banned? Because chat can't be trusted with lactose-based products, I'm afraid. Crumpy, I've no idea how you survived that. But still. Yeah, you guys can't be trusted with lactose, you know? It's as simple as that. It's a situation that we're in. I can't help you, you know? And no, yogurt's okay. Yogurt's okay. It's just cheese specifically in various types. Kefir, I'm not the biggest fan of kefir, but I don't hate it. Arya likes kefir. Shinfield Syndicate has good decks overshadowed by Vice. And he's entitled to that opinion. I disagree entirely. I agree that there are different decent lists, but in a ladder situation, none of them are being played consistently. And I don't believe that it needs the level of damage. It's entirely fine that we disagree on it, of course. I don't mind that, you know? And I'm sure Shin will say exactly the same thing. It's completely fine that we all don't agree. That's quite normal. But my concern is over-nerfing Vice, which is unquestionably the one people are going to, particularly with Syndicate. It's either viewed as the best or the worst. Making its only perceived good list not playable is not going to encourage people to go and find lists that they didn't think were good before and didn't get any meaningful buffs, right? It's just going to make people go, nah. Oh, I'm not doing that then. No Syndicate then. Because that's what happens with Syndicate specifically. You know, you'd love to see a monthly debate chat. I mean, and that's maybe a kind of thing that we could look at doing. We'll see, you know, we'll see. And this isn't me saying I'm right and Shin's wrong, by the way. Completely respect Shin and his thought process. This is the whole point of it. We're all trying to work out what's what. And I think that's okay. I don't love that I've got to just play a maxi here, or that they didn't brick this. That doesn't fill me with... Oh, got lucky. Yeah, so, but it's just my perception of it. We'll see what happens ultimately, and where the chips land. Where both Shin and I do agree is that 30 nerfs is way too many, because those nerfs will be, as is the case with Vice, targeting meta decks and completely deleting them, while the buffs can't bring whole archetypes back in. I think. What do you think? How many players really do watch Twitch while playing Gwent? Do you mean how many people snipe? Or how many people are Gwent players who also watch Twitch collectively? Shin, I don't think anyone with half a brain is going to treat Shin as a villain. Gwenton also watch Twitch. I think the amount has increased over the ratio has now increased. It used to probably be 10%. I would say the ratio is now a third of Gwent players are aware of the content sphere, maybe half even. But, you know, of people who play enough to vote, at least half of them will be aware of, I would say. But it isn't all one. Isn't it just all one prov, one power? Yes, it is. A single provision can delete a list from existence. Take the Open Sesame. A single provision nerf to that card deletes the whole deck. Gone. Right? Single power and provision nerfs makes massive differences in competitive decks. Yeah, a 4 to 5p buff is one of the biggest you can have. But taking a card, and while Golden Necker doesn't exist right now, so I've no idea why people are trying to nerf it without simultaneously buffing, a single card going out of Golden Necker deletes a list, you know? So it's so... 30 nerfs could wipe out in one balance. My opponent clearly forgot that they'd bricked, or I don't know, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, compass to 10, list deleted. Gone. Right? It really is as simple as that. And with meta decks, it's very easy to work out what those would be and do them. And we could lose every feasibly known meta deck that quick. Will that encourage us to search for new stuff? Maybe. Will that make people go, meh, I'll just play mid-range value? Well, history will tell us it's the latter, unfortunately. You know? Another Precision Strike player. What's with all the P-Strike today? Lucas on YouTube, fully possible every card in the deck gets a nerf. And I think it's unlikely, but it's the key cards that are perceived, certainly. You know, and some of the lists are easier to nerf than others. A single card can break some lists while not others. I'm not disagreeing on that. But my concern is, between now and World Masters, there is the potential to see 60 different nerfs. That's more nerfs for relevance than we've had in the previous 12 months.
Yeah, I work for the police. Better than working for humans.
In total. And we could see that in 4 weeks. We will have no meta decks left. Compass is a very hotly debated card. Yes, it is. And understandably, I get the perception from both sides. And I've given you all how I would have balanced that card long ago. I've done it many times. Absolutely not. Well, I'm definitely playing you. So, what's the discrepancy between mine and Shin's opinion? I love what he's doing, and I understand why he's doing what he's doing, and I think what he's trying to do is a brilliant thing. And Shin is a rational person who's willing to be persuaded. He's usually backed by, he will look at numbers, he will look at value and the literal of something, which I can find comfort in, personally. So, and I like and respect that. The only disagreement, quote unquote, that we have is the specific things he's choosing that he's advocating for nerfing. I don't necessarily agree with some of them. Again, that doesn't mean I'm right and that he's wrong. It's just I don't want to see those things nerfed. That's what it comes down to. Okay, our opponent took serious exception to this. Oh, nice, cheeky Gregoire de Gordon. Okay. I'm about it. Let's do this. The hell are you doing here, by the way? But yeah, I have to admit, 4 or 6 your votes are for Nilfgaard, and again, that's okay. But my concern is we over nerf. What am I facing? What is happening? Yeah, there's definitely not going to be drama between the two of us. I have a great deal of respect for him, and it's okay that we don't agree, right? That's good. The whole point of this is that we all put our opinions forward, and mine is no more important than yours or Shin's or anybody else's. Yes, obviously each of us has the perceived additional reach, but that's true. I could just be clicking Vile. Okay, so it's just dragons and precision strike. And for some reason a bomb heaver with only 2 bombs, which feels a little bit sus. But sure.
Scoia'tael!
Oh boy. So yes, it's okay that we don't agree on these things, and I think some of well, and ultimately, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I haven't had enough time to put my entire opinion forward yet, if I'm being completely honest. But we'll find out what comes in. As I say, I personally think that I've been playing for Shiru that I don't have, so that doesn't feel the smartest. Love to see it. My reach here is not what I was hoping, chat. Okay, in my head I had access to Shiru. Oops. Okay.
Never had your kneecap broken.
Let's try and absorb as much of this as we can, shall we? But yeah, we'll find out. And over on YouTube, do my hello. Welcome in and thank you for joining me over on YouTube. I really appreciate it. You don't really want to give dragons round control, but I'm not in a spot. Actually, I can delete this. 13 points effectively. Takes me up to 14. It's worth it. Yeah, okay. This is alright. Because I have reach with leader charges if they pass, so we're okay. I need 13. You're wondering why you weren't able to catch me on Twitch. I'm actually live on both these days. We are live on both, my friend. Now, this is probably only going to play for 4 or 5 points. This is going to play for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 if I leave Milva and use a single leader charge, which is what I'm going to do. So, play and kill and jump and ping. Have to use a leader charge, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And the final charge is, of course, going to be for the Shiru if we find it. They have a lot of dragons left. And typically this list can be a little bit uncomfortable brick-wise. We have to press on that. Love that I'm using Milva. It's an interesting card. This is not the hand I'm looking for. It got better. It doesn't send you notifications. I've had that issue a lot recently. A lot of people saying they're not getting notifications for my going live, and I don't know why. You're the 5th person now to tell me that they're not getting going live notifications. However, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 2 p.m. UK time, I am live. You can pretty much try and set your watch by that, or join Discord, because the going live notifications definitely work there. I'm nervous about playing this, but I think I'm going to. Roadman didn't get one either. Okay, not loving the amount. You're getting them from Discord? Okay. Yeah. That's not great. And I don't know why that's the case. Strange. I can try and contact Twitch support and just say I'm getting multiple people telling me they're not getting them. Let's serve with multiple. So the Discord is myself, my wife, Ghost Aria. There were a couple of other streamers in with us. Neither of them stream currently, so realistically it is just the 2 of us these days. So yes, it is called The Den. TRX, hello over on Twitch. How are you doing? Is that worth the trade now? Yeah, it was Calvino and Podcast. Calvino disappeared off the face of the earth. Podcast isn't streaming for the foreseeable, so it is Arya and myself. So it's our den. It's called. I'm okay to take this pass. I think they don't get to thin, which could be awkward. Keeps the bricks in there for them.
Now you're an
We'll take the pass. Jarvie, hello. You missed my Gwent streams? Well, miss no longer, my friend. Miss no longer. They are here. I am married, yes. Arya and I are married. Yes, we got married very recently. If you head into Discord, you'll see about 10,000 pictures. And I show them off regularly. But yes, we're married. Happy days. Life is treating me very well. I certainly can't complain. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, we've got a chance. We have a chance here. And thank you very much, Dutastra, as well. Time to move the flatmates. We'll be living together, don't worry. Is Gusento not streaming or playing anymore? Has been around on and off, but I don't know for sure, honestly. Is that worth cursor? I think they have no proactive, right? They're concerned here. So, let's make it awkward. Yeah, definitely. I think he's just worried that he wasn't going to get a target, which I get. Okay, they are telling me right now they have nothing proactive. I'm okay. No bother. Keep coming, Chief. They're having to play suboptimally and they don't love it. I'm on YouTube Live right now as well, yes. Okay, so maybe the synthesis was a bigger threat. I don't think so, though, honestly. How's the knee? The knee's doing its best. I can't play football ever again, quite frankly, because I can't make the twisting motion. And in the last year, obviously, Arya and I have been traveling a lot, so I haven't been able to exercise to the length that I was. I've lost a decent amount of the very big muscle strength that I had. But the knee itself is good because we still try and stay active wherever possible. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible, is what I will say. My best bet is to do this. Unfortunately now, we are in the spot where I can't get Dennis because I've gone the other way. Shiru plus Mahakam to kill the dragon at 8. Oh, that's true. But I mean, it's only saving me a 3-point card, right? Oh, Psychoki, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it took... I can't tell you how much time it took for me to get comfortable with my knee again. Genuinely, I really struggled for quite some time to get my knee into a place where I was actually comfortable. Do I take the Shiru now? I can take the Shiru whenever, right? I may as well just do this for now.
For the revolution.
But am I getting better? If I get rid of the 8 now, I'm probably just being greedy by not. So I play the Shiru here. Use Mahakam Pass. He goes to 8. Boom. Then they might row stack a little bit more to give me a better Cat Witcher Saboteur. I think that's what we do here. I think that's what we do. Yeah, and it took me a very long... And I'm 2 years out. And I'm still struggling. You know?
It'd be a shame if they were to have.
Okay, I think we're okay here. Their final play is one of the dragons. Oh, it's just the Tesh and Mutna sword. Oh, okay, never mind. We're just winning by a bazillion.
Feign not ignorant. Remember to whom you speak.
Cool. Road cycling. And the biggest thing for me that has always helped is cycling. Because it's 0 pressure on the knee, while simultaneously strengthening the muscles around it strengthens your calves, strengthens your quads, makes life so much easier. Road cycling, however, of course. My bot is trying to influence the vote? Yeah, probably. Swimming's also great for the knee, yes, because there is no weight. So I agree. Just need to check. All of those are fine. And visa application information. So, okay, haven't faced Onslaught in time here. Okay, so mistake this should always be the first mulligan. You should always get rid of Rock Barrage over these because you've got backups for those, but not for the Rock Barrage. Interestingly as well, in the qualifiers, the player who got this through and it ended up actually progressing and winning the upper bracket final, Joe, he was playing this a lot on blue coin because his lineup required a blue coin deck. I prefer this on red coin quite significantly. Hey, Nuke, great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. How the devil are you? I hope you're doing well. Boo! I'm not wasting a leader charge on moving it because it just puts me in a bad spot. Oh boy. Okay. So instead now, it is this. You. You. We're ahead. Days. Don't have access to get rid of the funeral boat. The deck I lost all my MMI using. Yes, Prawn. This used to be busted. But damaged enemy unit by 2.
Think lumberjacks enjoy their work this much?
We kind of don't want them to have Bloodthirst. Lyrian did not make it to the finals. No, Lyrian unfortunately did not make it through to the finals of Masters. They lost in both the upper and lower bracket finals. Innomine Satanas played phenomenally well. And while obviously those disconnects would have been tough for Lyrian, the other players played very, very well, is what I will say. So I'm not overly stunned. That makes sense. Hey, Kusiri! I hope it's just from overtraining, basically started as a potato. Overtraining can definitely be a thing. And congratulations on the weight loss, Spartan. It's a really nice feeling when it happens. So I'm really pleased for you. Do this, into this. Okay, we're just ahead. It's where we like to be, especially on red coin. Let's make their life just a little bit awkward. Hey, don't move my stuff.
I'll snap your neck and
Rude. The question is it worth the leader charge? Leader charges are pretty valuable for us. Is it worth it? Oh wait, the order isn't melee locked. I thought it was. I can still use. Damn, it's just the deploy. Forgot that. I had genuinely forgotten that, chat. Unfortunately, though, this doesn't keep me ahead now. So I'm effectively giving them a pass here. I don't want to use Vial. Vial was an option. But Vial keeps me in the loop of options for better Shirus. Because with Vial I can Shiru at 7. Right? I mean, we're gone, right? If they're playing that now, their hand must be stacked. So it's a question of, do I now not want to play one more card into it? Because now I'm considering, if I play my hack and pass, the problem is they can then dry pass me and I don't get the value of it. So now I might genuinely play Vial. In fact, I will now play Vial. Let's remove that, add some more armor. YOLO and Nero, maybe. It depends on what they choose to do. Obviously, I've got a Nero with the 2 of these as possibilities right now. They're not going to stop playing, and I have got first a Nero, so let's see. I think it's a huge thing to get. Massive here. Nine ads. Crikey, sorry about that, Spartan. That's a lot. I have no idea what. Yeah, I'm okay. I think we're okay to go now. That's a lot to get from them, honestly. The Hjalmar is... that's so many provisions to win round 1. 28. Well, nobody in a suit will ever get an ad in this channel. And where you are and what region you're in can also have an impact. So, I guess, depending on when you join the channel, if you got pre-rolls, blah, 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 right? Yeah, they definitely... well, they were committed to it. Respect it. This is okay. I think this is okay. I'd love to have one of these in hand, but I don't want to risk this. Hello, Dosen. Good to see you. I don't really want Dennis in hand, but I can't risk the mulligan, I don't think. Let's see what they do. I love having access to the offering in this matchup. Okay. So it's now first the Nero then, and we just grab Maxi, which is fantastic for us. It's good thinning and guarantees I don't get any bricks, or improves my chances. Superb. So, I'm drawing these 3. We mulligan 1 card to get Curse of Corruption. Don't touch anything else, and my Nero is Heat Wave. Fantastic. Let's go! Woohoo! But yes, I hope you're all doing well. I hope your Mondays are a joy. Remember, this week we've got a day of Baldur's Gate 3. We've got some Cyberpunk 2077 coming up as well, which is always a joy and a delight. Why is that not what was supposed to happen? Oh, a Nero draw. Yep, thank you. I actually mulligan the backup plan because I've got both options then. And I think I'm alright with it. A Nero came back. Yep, thank you. Always good to actually count Lionheart. But yes, so this week, we've got Cyberpunk. There's going to be a stream of it. There's going to be a stream of Baldur's Gate 3, as is usual. And the rest will be Gwent. We'll be talking about what changes have come in from the first balance patch. Tomorrow, what I'm going to try and do is a stream on both of them, and then a video that's concise on, here are the changes that have come in the balance patch. Here's what we've learnt. What now? Because we've got the chance again. What should we be doing differently? Okay, so I don't want to kill that. Yeah, how far am I in Cyberpunk? We're still very early doors in Cyberpunk. Yeah, I know. We were just processing Yazara, don't worry. So Cyberpunk, we are about 8 hours into the base game, something like that. I don't want to spoil. Let's just say we have a motorbike. We have a motorbike. Not my first run, no, I've played before. Doing a run with a friend of yours and doesn't like I know too much about the areas you're in. 200 hours in Act 1, that makes sense. Been there. I'm not quite that many hours in, but it feels like we're not far off, honestly.
Dance! Dance with my death!
Okay. Highest value bronze pirate. It's one of the two of those. So if I am going to kill this, we want to kill it soon. So, but yeah, I'm also still in Act 1, to clarify, in my Baldur's Gate 3 run. We are in the Underdark, but yes, I'm still in Act 1. Loving Baldur's Gate. Sucrus! This is Sucrus Arna, Chad, and you know what? I'm here for it. I love it. I'm a fan of it. This is the best thing ever. Do I just kill it? Do I just kill it? Because I could also click this. Shiru and leader. We should do that, yeah. There's a 7, good point.
Oh, how lovely it burns.
Yeah. Yeah, we've obviously got movement anyway, but we didn't really need to deal with it. Honestly. Yeah, COC would have hit the raider. You are all correct, yes. Shame. Olga. Now we've got such a better option. It's kind of sad, honestly. But never mind.
Act your age. At 2 centuries, you behaved like you were barely one.
I think that's all right. We're good. Holy armor. Yes, yes, yes. GG. Okay. We on the climb. Happy days. I'm not quite about. I haven't played enough games to get to Balance Council because I'm just going to win through to get to Pro instead. So we've got a few more games. Feel so bad for Arna Chad gamers. I get Arna Chad's a very fun combo if you can pull it off, but equally it's also a super obnoxious one that isn't really healthy. We just like it because it doesn't work often enough for it to be a problem, right? It's, you know. So it's a difficult one. Difficult one. I like it because it's fun. We're facing this list again. Hey, Senox. Hey, Christoph. How you doing? 100% that and that. Okay. So we're facing fruit. So it's this mid-range constructs thing. This was a tough matchup for this list because we, in a short round, can't answer everything unless, yeah. Yeah, there are plenty of things that answer it, exactly, yeah. But if it was so good that it couldn't be answered, Arna Chad had Veil, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, so it is just this thing again. Dumai, no problem. Thank you very much for dropping in and enjoying the stream. Pleasure to have you with us, and we hope to see you again. Enjoy, I hope work goes well. I hope work goes well. Triple Gurney, Mill, and Armor. Honestly, that sounds great, because Mill's a free win, Triple Gurney's fun, and the Armor deck, it depends on what you were playing, to be fair. This is the one that I'm using now. It's good against some stuff and awful against other. And then there we go. Triple Gurney's, it's not good is what I'm trying to get across, you know what I mean? It's not like it can, again, run away crazy, but then binary as hell is the definition of a lot of Gwent engine decks, right? It's frustrating sometimes, but that Triple Gurney player, you were probably the only thing that they beat for a while. So, you know, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Now, I have the Shiru, but it's not worth it. Movement isn't worth it either right now. This is not a great spot for us. as it stands. It's a bit awkward. If I can get a unit played here, I can get some decent value. 100 point up. I've never seen that before. That honestly, that interests me. I want the deck. So this is going to be at 9. Not loving this, chap. Gonna be honest, not loving the spot that we're currently in. I need to try, like, we're not staying ahead here, but because we know this is an Erendite deck, I kind of need to save the squirrel to prevent, maybe. Okay, that's much better. That's much better. But now I've got some value. Move, kill, pew, pew. Okay, that's a little bit happier. The downside is I now can't squirrel and brick Mamuna, which we don't love. We'd have liked to be able to do that, but instead Erendite's probably the better target. We hit a Nero last time, but they still managed to find everything. Okay, bye. Cool. How do they come in? So when the voting finishes, it will be like a 15-minute window. There's no download update. It'll literally just be restart the game and the new patch is in, because it's all server side. That's the point. Nobody has to push it. Deck has too many Mamuna backups. Fair. Because they should push here. Fruits loves 3 rounds. They're Erendite anyway, and they haven't played the first one. They should want to push me hard here. If you don't like the changes, don't restart the game. I think it stops you queuing. Everyone's going to be raging about the results. Well, we will find out. We will find out. Everybody can't be, because lots of people will have to have voted for them, right? So we shall see. I might not like some of them. In fact, I would go as far as to say I probably don't like some of them. And I'm not expecting to like all of them, but we'll see. Opponent going for that tempo. That sweet, sweet tempo. And I can really hurt that. If I use all of my leader right now, I leader charge this, it hits it once, she hits it a second time, I then, you know... Geo! Welcome over on YouTube. How much time until the changes? It'll be tomorrow morning. Yeah, I suppose we could backup plan for now. And then this. That's a little bit slower. What changes do you think are coming through that I don't like? Open Sesame to 6 provisions I think is a bad idea. I think it destroys the entire archetype all in one go. Golden Necker up to 10 provisions unless we see Magic Compass, Roach, Knickers start going the other way to actually make it playable. That would be kind of a bit of a waste, really, for me. Other than that, over-nerfing of archetypes that already aren't good would be very silly, in my opinion. Please bring another one. Oh, beautiful. You know what? Sometimes good things happen to good people, and I am in fact, good people, chat. I can't resist that. It's just too tasty. And boom. Oh, yes! That was my little jig, by the way. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't bring it back again, you...
Garments are shackles that restrain our desires.
Okay, so we're finding this. It's first a Nero, which means I can find the 2 of these. One of them in this round, one of them in the next. I think I'm alright with this. I just have to not take my 5th mulligan. Which actually is okay, because I never find this. Because it's a Nero, this. Mulligan is safe. Acherontia is also being simultaneously nerfed. That's my problem, right? I'm not saying Sesame couldn't be a 6th provision card, or even isn't a 6th provision card. I'm saying the whole deck is built around the idea that you can create them. Moving them out of create range for Shady Vendor means that now the nerfs to Acherontia and Ixora were unnecessary, in my opinion. Beautiful, that's going away. Goodbye, goodbye, good friend, goodbye. And now I'm gonna lead her and say, hey, I'm ahead, okay. And for some reason that's to the tune of Bear in the Big Blue House. Vigo's muzzle? I beg your pardon, good sir. Vigo's muzzle in this economy. Who would have imagined? I wouldn't be surprised if people also nerfed Acherontia as well. I think we will see it. I think we will see a provision nerf or a power nerf to it as well. Curse of Corruption gets us ahead. It does. And it will give me more points next round with Frenzied Dow on its own. So, I am inclined to agree with you and say, let's take Curse of Corruption.
Burn.
Went for underplayed Nilfgaard Syndicate cards like Rainfart and Sausage Maker because you appreciate the Nilfgaard Syndicate meta decks getting hit hard. Was that several of your votes for buffs, J. William, or were you trying to buff those cards or nerf them? I'm assuming you were buffing Sausage Maker. Yeah, for buffs. Fair. Okay, cool. Like to see a buff for Acherontia and a nerf to Sesame. I just don't think there's a meaningful buff to either of those, to Ixora or to Acherontia, now that their vices have changed. Now that the vice is gone, it's in trouble. You know what I mean? Ooh. Do I now have to just play the Armorer's Workshops? Either. Yeah, I don't know if either of those help enough, if I'm being honest. How to solve? There are other ways to solve it by moving other cards into the 5p range and muddying the pool. For instance, it's too easy to get now, but if you bring down other cards into that range, it's not a 50-50 chance, it's less consistent, it's blah blah blah. I think we have to do this. That's what I would do. By choice, I would do that instead. Because it's only a problem because it's so consistent. But the whole idea of Vice was to do that. But if we've raised Acherontia already to be 12 coins, you're saying to Syndicate it can spend 0 coins the entire game if it wants to pull off Acherontia once, or more than once. And it has to have found both of its ones in the deck, which is already really difficult, you know? You like the idea of lots of nerf because it forces people to innovate. Conceptually, J. William James, I agree with you. My issue is the reality is that people don't do that. And people just play Misk mid-range because people don't innovate, typically, right? When all of the meta stuff gets heavy nerfed, we just end up with Misk mid-range, and that isn't innovating. Did Dennis get us ahead? It might have done, but I think I actually need points in this spot rather than anything else. And I'm not going to get a better Heatwave target next turn. They were playing for the 2-0. I'm happy with that because I'm still going to have some armor, maybe. Actually, is Dennis now just crap? Oh yeah, true, yeah. There was some armor. But not enough armor. Either way, I think we're okay now. I think we just win now. Yeah, there was plenty of armor, yeah. We had more than enough armor. It's just whether it's worth it. And this is completely worth it. Traherne nerf, I think Traherne is a guarantee. in my perception, Traherne is pretty guaranteed to get the nerf, so I wouldn't be too worried on that one. Most hated card, Traherne. Comfortably Traherne.
Don't you fret about me. I can take care of myself.
Yeah. It's not. The problem isn't that Traherne's strong. The problem is that it can win a whole game and it shouldn't exist. That's my problem. The card fundamentally shouldn't exist. That's my problem.
Don't worry.
And you can call me biased for that. The ability is terrible and doesn't belong in a multiplayer game. It doesn't belong in a multiplayer game. If Gwent was single player, Traherne would be a sensible card to run because it would be fine. It is not. GG. You know? But right now, in the 8 provision, like in its current spot, yeah, I am firmly against making cards unplayable. Good morning, Bassaside. Unless they are so unless they don't make sense to exist. And I am of the opinion that Traherne is probably the only card in Gwent that is the case. I've just had a super chat over on YouTube. That's so cool. Thank you so much for that. First ever. That's really kind of you. Can you elaborate more on why mid-range meta is bad? Because you don't quite get it. Why is it less interesting? Because it will converge more towards one deck. It's a great question. And again, it's just my perception. Mid-range metas are repetitive and boring. Because everything's just about a bunch of cards with no real synergy playing for the most value they can in a space. So there's no real synergy. And it kind of reduces Gwent down to feeling like who drew the most golds, when Gwent moved away from that probably 18 months ago to try and benefit from bronze synergies, and actually your bronze combos became as vital as your golds, and we moved away from that a bit. Some people might miss it. I don't, but some people might miss the way that was, for instance, and think that it's great. My worry is that maybe once this many nerfs would be okay, but consistently it would be too many. And thank you so much for the donation as well. It's very kind of you. Full house with the sub over on Twitch. Fancy blue tie. Welcome home, my friend, and I really appreciate it. For those of you on YouTube who are becoming members, which is the equivalent of a Twitch sub, I'm setting up alerts for that so that we will get to see all of that as well. So thank you very much for those of you that have done that. If you're following, those alerts do already work, though, which is great. God, chat's moving quickly. Bassaside, it's lovely to see you, my friend. Can someone tell you how to vote? Prawn, you either get to pro rank or win 25 games in the next, since this month. Oh, it's there! Hey, it came up. Let's go. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I really want to kill this. So we should be buffing. Yes, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. And I don't think people will be doing that, and that's one of the reasons why I have problems with it. Let the dance begin! Yeah. So that's kind of where I sit on the mid-range argument. Thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. It's very kind of you for the super chat. You are officially my first ever super chat, by the way. So thank you. That's really cool. It's nice to finally be able to be live in more than one place. It was a little bit obnoxious that wasn't the case before. So, oh, I feel mean. There we go. Moderate Flex, hello, welcome in. You hate Traherne, but if you had to choose one card to delete, it would be Temple. Temple isn't it for me. I hated Temple, but now that I can see what my opponent made from Temple, I am infinitely happier about it. My problem wasn't that it created stuff. My problem was that I didn't know what it had created, which fundamentally made it stronger than anything else, especially in an open deckless competitive environment. That's just nonsense. It just didn't feel fair. So, What's up in the air in terms of tweaking Gwentfinity? I feel like 30... Oh, I agree. And the reason that they're doing multiple balances, quote unquote, right now is because they also want to see what, you know, they also want to see. Yeah? So, the newest version of Temple for me is a really, really interesting deck. I'm going to be completely honest. I know it's probably controversial. The current version that exists of that, the one that had an 81% win rate at the top 64 when playing from Red Coin, Shoop, Mutagenerator, Iris, is it on the verge of too good? From Red Coin, yes. From Blue Coin, no, it loses a lot. Overall, it's definitely one of the best meta decks, right? But it's also just an example of a phenomenally well-built deck. It takes advantage of its terrible leader ability to guarantee consistency. It used to struggle because it didn't find the neutrals and they were quite important. But then the Iris combo comes in to also help make that the case. Like, it's actually just a really great... It's really good. I don't know if I'd ever be happy to see Pinsir nerfed. And the only reason I say that I wouldn't be happy to see Pinsir nerfed is because it's great consistency, but already not great itself, in my opinion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think I don't think it cheat. My perception is I don't believe it's a cheat of the provision system, quote unquote. I don't think that is the case. I don't think that's the case. I think there are lots of cards that allow it, and if that cheats the provision system, so does every single create card, potentially. I'm running a 4p create, and it makes a 6. I'm running Henry, and all of a sudden I get 30 provisions, potentially. I understand what you're saying. I hate that I don't have Shiru right now, and it hurts the core of my soul that we don't have Shiru right now, and I'm losing on even. I'm losing on even. Okay. God, the Shiru would be delicious, huh? I've got 4 more points than it looks like, so 1 leader charge will get me out in this spot. There's no armor on the board, we're okay. Pew pew. We might be losing on even to Firesworn here, chat. They've committed a lot, but we might genuinely be in trouble here. We could also be okay because they will always swarm and I have a decent chance of getting a Giga Shiru, but... Okay, again, I've got 4 more points than it looks like, so thankfully now anything is sufficient here. Do that, that. Again, I'm alright. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I'm not saying I like the card, to clarify. By any means, I'm not saying I like the card, but you have to take into account the fact that it is 0 provisions, 0 tempo when it's being played. If it was the most busted thing in the world, it would go into every NR deck. It doesn't, it goes into 1. What? That can't be right. Okay. And I've got 2 points here, provided one of these hits a unit. Yeah, we're fine. No, God, we're not definitely fine. They both hit armor. They both hit armor. Okay, so I'm going to Simless, right? I'm playing Simless now, yes? Yes, that's true, Johnny. That is true, but the list also absolutely needs last say. So it's a massive weakness to it. It's why it loses on blue coin so much. So, if you can pick your coin, the list's busted because you play it from red, you never lose on even, and you're sound. but playing it on blue coin, everybody knows how to play against it. I do agree that the list overall needs nerfing, but for me, Mutagenerator is probably the card that I would target first. I wouldn't be averse if it went to 13, though, at all.
Feign not ignorant. Remember to whom you speak.
The leader might look weird, but I'm trying to play around the... Yeah, I think that's okay. Temple... Yeah, I'm not saying that Temple at 13 is something I'd be sad about. It can't get to 8. We have to do it at 7 first. We can't take it and double nerf. That's not something we have the ability to do. They want a long round, but I also have absolutely no ability. I haven't submitted my picks yet because I'm not eligible yet. I kind of want to play here, even if it's Maxi and Mahak and Pass. Nerf it and nerf it again. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, this would have been terrible. So, 100% this goes to the bottom. And you have a link to yesterday's qualifying decks. I do! Exclamation mark bracket, my friend. We'll take you there. There you go. I will click this. There you are. That's all of the decks from the qualifiers yesterday. Should also be the full scorecard as well. That's for the whole top 16. You should be able to see it.
Fire cleanses. Remove his cowl, then his ear.
This is a tough one. This is a really tough one right now. Because if I'm playing, I actually have to kill... I can't kill both of these in a single turn. I don't have the capacity. Killing this to make them bring it back is redundant. But getting this out now does feel huge. And I think it's worth the trade to lose the card, honestly. I think it's worth the trade. I'm worried about the Shiru. I can? How so? This comes out and kills this in its own right. 4, she jumps out 5. This does 1 damage. I don't have a way to kill both. This is 1 damage now, not 3, remember. Pass. Hey, Snow Moon, great to see you. You only play 1 rock in this. You don't play 2. Because you've got no other construct, so you can never thin 2. It's thinning movement. Well, if there were 2, obviously, then yes. You've nearly drunk enough to commence playing. Look out, rank 9. Hey, we won't be disrespecting rank 9 in this channel. My best friends are at rank 9. This is at the bottom. The problem is there is a... I can't draw this, but I could draw this. This would also be terrible. I can't mulligan. Hate it, but I can't mulligan. You got to rank 2. Congrats, Snow. Love to see it, my friend. Very pleased for you. Congratulations.
I shall forever shine.
Eternal fire. That's got to die, right? Espare. And I actually want this on the back row because I want more armor already. Love a cheeky backup plan. Made it to 6. Congratulations, Malguardian. Skellige Pirates. Interesting. Not what you'd expect. Hey, backseat all you want, my friend. I'll ignore you if I don't like it, you know? Oh, do I kill this with Milva? My leader charge now can kill this, but then I never see, and we get Milva back from the Frenzied Dow. I think we are supposed to kill this. I think reducing the amount of these they can spawn is demonstrably worth it. I'm concerned about this. deeply concerned about this. Maybe I'm not concerned. Pause, champ. Not concerned! Yeah. I know that looks weird, but it's definitely right. They have to do that now, right? That was gonna be so many points, and I was never gonna get there otherwise, right? So, and I think now I kill this. Oh, but we don't get the Milver out because it didn't move. Boo. Boo, hith, boo. I think we're winning. Oh, maybe not. Their final card is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. So we win, right? Because I have 11 points, 12 points. So we win now by 2, right? Yeah, it did. The chariot order didn't matter, but the chariot order didn't matter. It was okay. GG. Let's go. Okay. This. Oh. Well, we all know what that is. Okay. So, let's play this. Yeah, let's encourage good behavior. You know what, Bassaside? I'm here for it. You're correct. You are correct. We've got time for this extra game, and then it will be a quick break. My brother should be finishing his first shift at work, and I want to make sure that it went okay. I want to speak to him for a little while, just to check before he drives home how he got on. So I will give you guys, after that... Why is this? This has just gone for a wander. Give you a best of Lionheart, and we can go from there. Play a lot if you want the seasonal card back. I know, and I do want that seasonal card back, by the way. It's gorgeous. Don't want you so early. Definitely don't want you. Definitely don't want you. Well, that didn't go well. So we're exactly the same, except they have a traveling merchant to get rid of. That's kind of cute, honestly. It's a very near mirror. Very, very near mirror. This is going to be an interesting one, my friends. Round control is going to be crucial. Last say is going to matter a lot. Your progress in the seasonal cycle. I don't think so, actually, J. William James. No, I don't think so, because if you they're not. Like, I missed the summer cycle card back. There'll be a new one for the next summer cycle, is my understanding, that's already designed, and the old one's not coming back for a long time, so I don't think so. I will get confirmation on it, but not to my knowledge. And I've got a lot of knowledge. That's pretty great. Both of these accessible. No bricks. These will obviously both be problems, but should be fine. Yeah. I'm okay with that. But I'll ask the question, because I would obviously like them to be available. But equally, I understand a lot of people already have them, so don't want... Oh, I should have played around that.
Never have.
But yeah, so I kind of like... I've got a bit of both in the feeling for that one, honestly. Okay. First backup plan. Oh, that's not great for them. Which means it's great for me. We like things that are great for me, chap. The offering's only better target is the Dwarf Berserker, right? So I may as well just take it now while I can. Keeps me ahead, hypothetically. Boost the Dow. Do that. And we have to play... Just need to blow my nose. Okay, I'm back.
I'm just doing my bit for the revolution.
Don't you fret about me. Can take care of myself.
They held it. Maths, yeah, it's fine. I was aware I needed to use a leader ability.
I'll get it.
Ugh. This is not the best spot. Why would I boost the Curse of Corruption? Because I think this is going to be the card I end up playing as my only unit. I can't Curse of Corruption, because it always loses. And unfortunately, the Vial is not able to take Shiru to 7. Yeah, 2 out of 3 chance it goes our way. Yeah, I've played that game before, guys. No, no. No, no.
Buy here, sell there. Peddle there, peddle there.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like this based on the number of bricks. And there aren't many good heat waves. I'm going to be honest. I think I'm just going to heat wave that. I know it makes my Curse of Corruption worse, but... Let's see. They're just trying to lock me in and win the round on even, which would be terrible for us in this mirror. Blue is just not it, honestly. Blue is not it in this mirror.
Death awaits us all.
Chat. You need it against the dentist targets? Do I? Well, it's either that or I'm losing on even / losing my... You are right, though. I do need it.
It'd be a shame if they were to have.
I choose no one. Never have.
I lose Milva, but I'm not using her proactively anyway. Now, last say is really important here, right? But I also need to bleed, because I've got my hack and pass on the board. Am I pushing here or am I leaving my hack and pass? That's the question. Am I just letting my hack and pass sit and saying, you know what? Who cares? I don't have a proactive card right now. I have to a Nero, and if I a Nero, I'm pulling something like a Dwarf Berserker, which limits what I can grab. I need to be able to grab both of these. So I have to pass here and just take the long round. Not ideal, but I'm hoping they have also mulliganed weirdly on the... No, okay, they haven't. That's bad for us. Yazari, I checked the contract reach in the autumn cycle of this year. Next year won't be the year of Ouroboros, therefore you won't be able to progress it. Yeah. We both have Curse of Corruption, yes. We both have Curse of Corruption. It'll just come down to who does... Who does what? So, I have to mulligan this, and again, this. It is what it is, unfortunately, but we get everything we want. Squirrel doesn't help me in any measurable way, because it never ends. Maybe he's right. It's a genius. I think it'll come down to who gets a decent Shiru, honestly. You have to front row that, right? Not being able to kill that could cost me the whole game. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, normally you always find at least 2 damage. Most things do it. Most things do it. Like, of your 3 choices, it's so unusual not to find one.
And now I shall break you.
Never had your kneecap broken.
Milva's gone, otherwise I would have done. If Milva was still there, I would. Yeah, I had to use the I had to push the Milva out in round 1 to get them to pass. Remember, it's cock, not scorch, right? That's the problem. Curse of Corruption, not scorch.
Don't you fret about me. I can take care of myself.
So burning their 1 tallest unit, if they've got 3 of them, doesn't help me, right? I think I'm supposed to kill this. But then if I Dow Chariot, I just give them a Curse of Corruption, right? I want to brick their Curse of Corruption as well. And try and make that redundant. So I can't really afford to play it. I need them to give me a second target. Oh, this matchup on this coin is so bad. Oh!
Only one with no sense would trust the word of a swine.
But I have neither either. Neither either? There's an argument that I should probably Curse of Corruption now. Right? But then no, because they're going to be worth more value later. I think I now Frenzied Dow. I Frenzied Dow this. Frenzied Dow that back into Shiru range at 6. There's one movement, fine. Because their hand could be super awkward too, right? And the thing is, we have to trade Shirus, which sucks, right? We trade Shirus. Because I play this at 6, move this once, burn. They then play their Shiru at 6, burn my Shiru, and they trade up on that. I'm so many points down already. And I don't even have enough units to make this work. That's the problem, right? I don't have enough units. Unless they're literally unable to play here. If I Curse of Corruption, they Curse of Corruption. But it's not worth it. I don't think this is winnable.
Who am I to kill?
But where I play it doesn't matter. Because they will now Shiru and leader charge that Shiru. So wherever I played it doesn't matter, right? Is the play here... It just genuinely doesn't matter, does it? If I Simless now, they get a Curse of Corruption. Their two cards are Curse of Corruption and Dennis. Right? If I back row Dennis now... No, we have last say. I've got 3, they've got 2. I think I back row Dennis.
I've never run from no one, and I'm no about to start.
Their Curse of Corruption is bricked, and it's going to remain it. They've got a 0 plus 5. The Dennis is too many points for me to overcome, I think, is the problem, right? The Dennis is way too many points. Yeah. So now I Curse of Corruption. And it plays for 17. This is 0. There's no way they're silly enough to play it. But my Simless isn't worth the 25 I need. Yeah. We did our best, but...
Act your age. At 2 centuries,
Sadly.
you behave like you were barely one.
Damn! I think we played the best we could there. But unfortunately, there wasn't a great deal we could do. It is what it is. That's really frustrating. One of those matches where, honestly, my opponent played round 1 really well, bullied to force me into an awkward spot. My hand was awkward. I do like the traveling merchant they've included to get rid of a brick potentially. Makes the mulligans feel a little bit better. But yeah, now buff the Dow from offering and buff Simless, it would have been less awkward. It would have been less awkward, that's true. Probably should have buffed the Simless instead, but I don't think there was ever a safe point otherwise, right? I don't think there was ever a safe point otherwise. That's really frustrating. Do we consider switching in Traveling Merchant? I think they'd cut the squirrel. I like the squirrel. But that traveling merchant. Okay. Oh, it's a 5? Oh, never mind. Oh, right. They're not running offering. Ugh. They're not running offering instead. Okay. Anything else? King! GG. You played really well. Yeah, we knew what you had because I'm playing basically the same list, right? You played round 1 perfectly, by the way. Great job. You bullied me into a spot that was awkward so that even though I won the round, I was at a loss. I couldn't stick anything long enough to get my Simless value. I was trying to brick your Shiru and your Curse of Corruption, but I could only brick one of them. I knew we'd trade Shirus because I couldn't line them up. If you hadn't Simlessed when you did, I'd probably get a slightly better Shiru than you and can win. So, yeah. Over the course, I'm trying to think if it was better to just get rid of your chariot early on with the Curse of Corruption and deny so much of the armor, but it's a tough one to know. But well played, my friend. Well played. And I'm glad you enjoyed the YouTube videos. We're actually live on Twitch and YouTube as we speak. So you'd be surprised. The bricks are awkward. Milver is a brick. You've got Rock Barrage being a brick. Both Armor Smiths are bricks as well. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think we'll leave it as it is for now. I just need to see. My brother's due. How'd it go, bud? My brother's due to have finished work kind of now. So I want to just to check that he's all right and his shift went okay before we play another game. But I equally don't want to disappear and talk to him before he's ready. So I'm just waiting on that. So we have not quite hit Balance Council. Looks like I'm going to have to win 2 more matches on the bounce chat so that we can do this. I know what my votes are. I'm pretty set on what they are. I'm going to give you guys a best of Lionheart. Have I got best of Lionhearts here? Not 125, probably not. Okay, let's find it on YouTube. Me. View channel. Playlists. And King, thank you for the follow as well. I really appreciate it. Best of Lionheart. Beautiful. Just waiting for him to be free. We'll go from there. Good morning, Sito. How are you doing? Definitely this one, chat. Oh. Definitely this one. I will be right back. I will see you shortly. Love you all. Because you just arrived. Well, we happened, and we're very happy about it.
That's it.
That's pretty much the summary, yeah. There you go. Welcome to the future. Still missed your lips. It was going well. Now you're just like you've eaten chocolate. This is gonna be a fun stream. So I've only got 3 hours to go. Useful like armor. So I feel like this goes on your cheeks. It doesn't go on her cheeks.
Ooh. You're dead. No, no, no. It's over. It was anger toward the enemies, right?
Yes.
Okay, get out of it.
We were dizzy.
Yep.
And no, yeah.
Dizzy enough. Dizzy
We
enough.
might be singing different songs.
Yeah, I was making up mine. Maybe pick another palette. This is not enough for your artistry.
Are they all the same thing? Is this a colour?
That is a color.
Oh,
Oh.
these ones are shinier. One of them's called Smog. Can we use Smog?
Yeah.
I think it's good.
It's not so bad, no.
I mean, okay, I think I've gone. There's too much of the eyeshadow that it's not on your eye. Mm-hmm. I feel like I could tidy that up with a brush, though. I couldn't tidy that up.
In the wrong order. Shit. I must be quiet and focus. If I film it okay? What? Don't breathe. Then I'll forget you.
I feel like I'm being told off.
And think about your next steps, okay?
Some of these are pretty colours.
He will look for more pretty colors
What's this?
that look okay.
This says Mac.
No! Okay, you can try with these.
What are they?
You will open them. Okay, I'm gonna play you another video. We don't have ticks. We got no choice. That's fine.
Okay, that's good. Just survive.
Survive. Survive, but he will. No,
come on.
no. Die, die, die. What is it doing? What is it doing?
Yes!
To destroy the thing is to destroy yourself. But the world is sprung from the memory you kept of it.
Blob downs. No, dance. Blob dance. Just blob dance. You know? But what are these?
Eyeshadows.
Brave.
Okay, what if we do the eyebrows now?
You have eyebrows.
Huh?
Done.
See, that's not bad. Okay.
Chat, look away. All of you look away. I can't not do this.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
Některé věci snadno vyměníte, ale lásku ne. Pro lepší každodenní život. IKEA.
Nemusíš mít diplom, aby si se stal součástí našeho týmu. Stačí ti chuť pracovat a troška toho selského rozumu, protože všechno ostatní tě naučíme. Kolegy ani naše klienty my nikdy nenecháme ve štychu. Přidej se k nám a dělej práci, která má smysl.
Asi dokážete odhadnout, co za věci vás potkají v běžném náborovém videu. Růst, tradice, zajímavé ohodnocení. Ale v kooperativě víme, že firma stojí na lidech.
A jsou to lidé, kteří vám pomůžou, když jste v nesnázích.
Pomohou vám růst? Klidně i na manažera.
A a hlavně vám do začátku poskytnou finanční podporu.
Se zkušenostmi nebo bez nich?
Zastavte se za námi.
Rádi vás uvidíme.
With Defender. That's pretty, you know.
It's
Syndicate
an interesting-
Defender making
Yeah.
a comeback.
Well, Syndicate Defender with things like Ixora is fantastic. But as Arjaved requires you to get rid of not one but two defenders simultaneously, and that's not so easy, especially if Conjurer's Candle is down already to protect them. The reason, of course, because Ixora just increases the value of your spends with her Vice ability. Puzzles list is interesting because it's a hybrid of the old meta list that we used to see that was Golden Necker, like the Poison Syndicate. It used to be combined with the bounty cards sometimes as well, and we can see Caleb Meng and Horson's Freak Show here. Hello, I'm we back. have absolutely no sign Hi. of any of Okay, the I other probably could have made that full screen. Apologies. I'm back. Hi, if you decided to stick around, thank you so much. If you were on YouTube, you pay me far too much to sit and watch ads. That's honestly true, Zoe. Learning Czech with the ads. Yes, I know. Dobrý den. Oh, sorry. So my brother had his first day at work in a new job, and obviously that's a big thing. Being in that environment for the first time is a challenge for absolutely anyone. So I wanted to see how he got on. The morning was a mixed bag, and I'd already spoken to him before I started the stream. So I wanted to see before he drove home how he was doing. So sorry for the break, but well, I'm always going to do that. And the afternoon was an improvement. Had a chat with the managers and stuff about the things that were making him a little bit nervous, and I'm happy with how that sort of went. And I'm really glad that he was effectively brave enough to have the conversations he needed to have. And it can be hard to see the progress you've made when you're inside it, if that makes sense, but he's definitely made so much incredible progress. I'm so proud of the kid. So yes, thank you for sticking around. We're now going to try and bounce ourselves up to pro rank. I haven't won 25 games yet because I haven't really lost enough games on the run to pro to have played. I haven't even played 25 games this season yet, unfortunately. This opening hand is not the best, as will be evident to my opponent by that play. But hey ho, here we go. Okay. Younger brother? Yes, I'm the eldest. Yeah, I'm big brother. I am and always have been big brother in the family, so I can play it on the Dow in this matchup. Yeah. Because obviously I'm 35, my brother's 19, so there's quite a big age gap between us. This runs Erendite. I want as much gap as possible. Syndicate deck, Bow will rage quit as soon as they see you. It's really not that great. That's what makes me laugh. The list is good, but it's not that great. Like, it's nowhere near good enough to warrant that. But I know plenty of people will do that, but it's nowhere near good enough to warrant that, which makes me laugh. So, but yes, and obviously going in, like, you had to be awake at 4 a.m, which is not something at 19 I would have done very easily, so that he could do the job and blah blah blah, right? 8 hours is a very long time from 4 a.m. when you haven't ever had to do it before. So yeah, he did really well. He did really well today. No, but I also think it's very important that he knows he did really well today. You know? So yes, that's the sum total of the conversation, chat, and I hope you enjoyed it. But hence the break. We've still got probably an hour or so of the stream to go. I am delighted to let you know. This is now going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Perfect. Thank you, opponent.
Never have.
Q. Go. Happy with that too. Do you know if there's a patch? Yes, Balance Council comes in tomorrow. The votes end at somewhere around 10 a.m. I think, and then about 15 minutes later, they're in. There will then be somewhere between then and midday, there will be an article that will publish on playgwent.com showing the changes faction by faction and what those changes are. Buff provision, nerf provision, buff power, nerf power. We go from there. Can't put cards in council, but it doesn't let you submit. Geography, no, I've no idea. I'm afraid, my friend, no idea. Try restarting. Fun Day that you've been doing way better than you thought it would do. I'm very happy to see it, my friend. I unfortunately don't have time to play it, as I've literally got time to play this like 3 more times, and I can't learn anything. But I'm very curious. Really? Rent-free vampires coming out of the woodwork. Okay. I mean, Riptide and Igni in this meta seem great. Fledders, if there isn't enough control to deal with it, okay. Regis, obviously, in Bloodscent makes sense. Okay, curious. Will they count as how many votes the chart? I don't know, Pseudo. I hope so. But I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. I've got first and near. I've got so many choices right now, and I think we start with this. That's perfect. Morntard to 17 or 18 most games. I can believe that, actually. I can genuinely believe that. Morntard being a deploy, that change is amazing, and it was slept on. Slept on, in my opinion. And it fits very well with Rent-Free because, of course, more units in your graveyard. Operators creating even more. I like it. I can see the Caravan Vanguard, again, you're creating multiple. It's cute. It's an interesting idea. If, provided nothing in it gets nerfed, I will play it tomorrow. And I don't think anything there is going to take a nerf. You know what? I'm going to import it now. We'll give it a go on. You'll be getting yet another shout out in a YouTube video coming soon. Shocking no one. Koshi Mornta, yeah. Plenty. See, now I want to push here because I think the Shiru's worth it. Because they're going to give me a good Shiru. Yeah, there's a lot. And on the point that we were talking about earlier, Jay William, it was... I agree that with changes will encourage innovation, provided players are willing to look. You know, so many things have the potential to be good. We just haven't seen people bother to look, for the want of a better phrase. But most players aren't interested in looking. Ooh. I'd have to use a second leader charge on Maxi right now. Nero. The Nero's currently going to be Shiru, if we're doing it the way I'm planning. Because Milva's in hand. Play for the carryover. Happy with that. I'll take a wee bit of carryover myself. Because that's definitely doable. Oh, you cheeky! Most of them are not running toads. See, now I want to triple leader. Shiru, boost it, move it, hit it, boom. Should give me the pass I'm looking for. Right? And obviously I haven't got to worry about the Milva.
What do you want?
1, 2, 3. I think that should give me the reach to get out. The only thing is if they're paying attention, they'll realize there's a brick in my hand. So maybe they'll do something like Mamuna to try and lock me in. She's obviously 21 points. A lot to give. Let's see what they do. I need to keep that Erendite from growing too big as well. And they do play the Mamuna. Awful for us. Like, really awful for us, honestly. I should have played them a hack and pass knowing that was a possibility.
They can hide, but there's no escape.
Again, give myself some reach. I might have to use all of this all of a sudden and rely on Dow. I was going to say, the Milva really hurts me for the all-in, so we're probably having to use the 2 of these and just surprising them. But we'll see. Because they've used both the Neros. Their Erendite was disappointing and, you know, kept under wraps. Their hand could be a little bit sus. He says hopefully.
A witch's best friend is a pig, no doubt.
Okay, not loving that I can't even hurt. They're offering me the pass here. That makes me so damn suspicious. Fast side, what's happening? Tell me! It's a hell of a pass, right? Because I now have everything. Can I beat it is the question. Their Erendite is going to be at 8 already. I can't keep my units back. I'll have Heatwave, I'll have Curse of Corruption. But this is worth... Yeah, I just have to, right? I don't think this list runs She Who Knows. Pass was right. Pass was right, because if I'm playing super tall, and you beat Werewolf and Erendite, with Last Say, Heatwave and Curse of Corruption, possibly. Possibly. So, that goes, and now I have everything. I've got removal and movement with Milva available. I've got Curse of Corruption, and I have Heatwave, and I can play uninteractively until the end of that. Right? So, let's go! Woohoo! The problem is they have so much point slam, we might struggle. But we got Mamuna early. Mamuna's gone. That's a big chunk of the problem. I'm inclined to say I just wait here. I'm gonna have 4 units. They have so many points. It's wild. Do I have to Curse of Corruption the 8? I think I have to Curse of Corruption the 8. Genuinely. I don't think I've got another choice. Because otherwise it's going to get awkward. Because I want to play the Dow. So, I'm going to have to play Dow on the ranged row so that this moves. Yeah. I need Dow on the ranged row to hit this, move it to that row, and then Milva will jump to the ranged row too. They were playing Pred Dive. If I heat wave now, in their hand is Werewolf, Erendite, Misk. Erendite, where? The question is, do I now say it's better for me to heat wave and make their life awkward? They're trying not to give me a unit. If they had, this doesn't run Mordred, it can't fit it. Or do I just play the Frenzied Dow? They'll Erendite and kill this, which is unfortunate. And they're going to kill what? There's no way around it. Their Erendite's like 13. Oh, the Riptide hurts. The Riptide really hurts. The last card was Riptide. Damn. We're now screwed. It has to be Simless now. That last two cards are like a 15-point Erendite. And the Werewolf. So I have to Simless.
You are no loser.
And I guess I go for the tallest one to protect. Erendite will lose a load of value on the armor, yeah. It's gonna be close. The Wolf's like 21 point. No, it's not, because they're not so far boosted. The Wolf's actually... I think we win here. Right? Because their Werewolf is only a 14? So they don't catch anyway. 13, 14, 15. It's not, but boom! Last say matters, chat. Last say matters. We get there. GG. Right, let's get to pro rank now. Enough of this nonsense. That's a tough matchup for this deck. That is legitimately a tough matchup for this deck. The pass that we ended up with saved us. Because we have to bleed it, but we have to bleed it and keep our card. Pro rank and submit votes, yeah. Yo, Darrow! Thank you very much for the congratulations. I really appreciate it. Yes, life is a lot better than it used to be, my friend. I think it's fair to say. Anyone who was with me in the stream full cycle has known that the last 6 years are very, very... yeah, there's been a big set of changes in that 6-year period, right? I really appreciate it. Yes, so we are now married. It is wonderful, and I'm very, very happy. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit, because this is a Neuromancy. It's a backup plan. Okay. And it's never too late to congratulate us, because we're always happy to hear it. Oh, this is terrible. Never finding these two. Against dwarves. This is going to be rough. Okay. Worst of the bricks is Rock Barrage. Let's do that. No, 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 no. But yes, we'll get to pro rank, restart Gwent, submit our votes. That's the plan. Dwarves could be a really difficult one for us here. It's okay, Zoe, don't worry. Oh, I appreciate the card, though. The lovely... we appreciate the card. Offering ignores armor. It does, and that's why it's going to be really useful for us on something like a stacked Berserker. That could be very good in a while. Attack! But we need to keep Curse of Corruption and Heatwave for Broover, for, you know, stuff like that. Don't like this trade. If you, automatically you can vote at pro rank, yeah. When you're at pro rank, you just vote automatically. You have, yeah. So that's the provided, of course, you hit pro rank and your prestige 1. Is there a general rule where provision changes are more important? No, not at all. Each different cards benefit from different things. It's horses for courses, my friend. Against dwarves, typically I'd like round control so I can control the bleed. I'm a little nervous about that here, though. This isn't going to be a valuable card for me this game because I'm just going to constantly hit armor, so I'm okay using it right now. I can't deal with this and I'm not heat waving it. Oh boy. Okay. Maybe I should have got out when I had a chance, chat. And by maybe, I mean, I should have got out when I had a chance, chat. Yeah, it's a really good offering for us. What am I buffing with Council? With Council, I was considering, I wanted to a provision decrease on Portal at 3, Magic Compass back down to 9 provisions, and Alza, I wanted a provision decrease. Power increase, Kedwani Revenant, Roach, and Gezrus. I've voted to increase Golden Necker's provisions as well, up to 10, to help balance that out. I also used one of my power decreases to lower Kraken's power to 5. I classify that as a buff. Same with Lara Doran as well. I'm trying to buff more than I nerf. Offering Shiru, I'm not sure keeping Shiru at 5's worth it when I might have a lot of 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is worth it.
I'm just doing my bit for the revolution.
I'll give it to him.
So that's what I've currently gone for. Neither of those things. Reavers are alumni, monster. If you provision increase the Golden Necker, it can still just use cards with 9 provisions and lower. It can only use 9 provision and lower cards itself and Ciri Nova, regardless of what their provisions are. Otherwise, yes, it can still only use 9 and provisions and lower.
Why should I, an elf, a sage, converse with an ape?
I'll look at that in a while. Did they just... They did, wow. Okay, opponent really wants this, it seems. If I heat wave this right now, it takes them down to 21, not sufficient. I would need to use 2 leader charges to stay in the game, not something I particularly want to do. So I think I'm just supposed to pass here and say thank you for giving me so much to win on even. I will defend. I'll pass. Yeah, Reavers aren't good. They're just annoying. Okay, so we... God. This is not great, because I'm blind mulliganing too. But I have to. Oh! Oh, it's agony. We are not happy. We're not happy. We shuffled and everything stayed out of the way except for the damn bricks. This is not good for us, chap. I'm gonna have to use, like, the Simless now being a... There's no way the Simless isn't a brick at this point. It's really crappy for us. And I don't have the Shiru. Oh, because we know what's coming. They're gonna Broover. I had the opportunity. If we find the Shiru, the first buff, they're all at 3. Burn. Everything is good. So bad right now. So bad for us. And it may, obviously, they were always going to bleed. They've got Mahak and Pass on the board. Sir, you know what? You're right. It cheered me up a treat. Thank you so much for the sub, my friend. Welcome home. Thank you very much. It's great to have you here, and I really appreciate the sub. 100% cheered me up, no question. So thank you very much for that. It's very good of you. Do I... If I heatwave the carryover, it's just enough. But it leaves me in a spot where I can't guarantee killing Broover unless they overbuff it. Because I'm already going to be at 8 myself. I think I just play the Armorer's Workshop and accept where we are. And pray. They should protect Broover right now. They choose not to protect Broover right now. So I have to heatwave it. Opponent is... Hi Mosh. How you doing?
Look alive!
The size of this Scorch, not Scorch, the size of this would have been so good. Oh my god. The Shiru would have been incredible. Mosh, are you okay? There's no way, right? I would be very on board with Verena to 9p, by the way. It's just not worth it, chat. It's a minus 11 point play. I just play Simless. It's not a 50-50. Content. I've got enough content. I don't believe that it would have happened, alright? Don't believe They'll pass here anyway. They're still going. Oh, please. Please buff the same thing. No, because you see, my opponent's really greedy. My opponent's the greediest person in existence. They're going to try and 2-0 me, aren't they? Right? This isn't enough to get me ahead. That's the sadness. I think I have played tennis first. It sucks because I don't have a choice, and this unfortunately is only 3 points. My opponent should always pass here. Right? I've got no other choice because otherwise I go too tall. There's no shot.
And I'm not about to start.
There's no way. There's no way. Now, if we could just find any of our cards, that'd be great, because these are not them, okay? Okay, that's one of them. Is the Shiru... I don't know who this is, but I will pay them later. Well... let's head out and head back in. I have a feeling they also didn't get what they wanted, yes. Okay. Let's get those votes in, chat. Let's get those votes in. We'll see what comes in tomorrow, as it will be in the game and live tomorrow. Not too bad. I think it took us like 20 games this season. I really didn't play enough. But of course, it's not the whole season, right? It's just... we've only had 14 days of it. Okay. So. Power increase is the first thing. Power increase... am I missing something? I need to move Cam, thank you. Not how you spell it? It's not, you're right. Revenant is my #1 power increase. Gezrus. 100. I would love to see Gezrus at 6. I think it would open up it being worth it. At 2, I currently have Roach. I don't think it's worth it at 10. I don't think anyone's going to buff. But if it has a chance of being buffed to 9 provisions in future, then maybe that's not the one I want to go for. Let's wait. Provision decrease. Portal. 100%. Oh, it's power still. Never mind. Okay, it's power first, then provisions. I've just got this the other way around. Sove. Kraken. And Lara Doran. As 2 of these are buffs. And I actually think that's great. I'm not set on what I want this power increase to be, and we can talk about it. Provision increase. Battle stations. Cards absolutely busted. Should be a 12. I can't really say much fairer than that. Provision increase. I don't like Philavandrel at 5, because then I've got no guarantee on ever getting any of the 4 power stuff. Maybe. Next provision increase, for me, is going to be... First changes are tomorrow. Yeah, mutagenerator, I think that's needed to be done for a long time. The last one. Now, originally I was going to put in Golden Necker. It's a waste of a vote. It's already going to happen, right? So I don't need to vote for Golden Necker for a provision increase here. Right? It's a waste of my time. That's going to happen. But I think Care Trolled as well will happen. I don't... Nerf Temple instead of Muta first? No. Temple at 12 is much better than Mutagenerator at 6, in my opinion. When you're in a map, like, this is a Heatwave target, legitimately. Why? Golden Necker will get nerfed to 10 provisions. I guarantee it. 100% just on people's perception, it gets nerfed. I don't mind seeing Temple at 13 provisions, don't get me wrong. Kill Traherne, damn it, Energix, you're a genius. Yeah. Oh, provision decreases. Portal is my first. And I would love to see Portal get changed. Magic Compass is my second. 100%. And third, Alza. I want Alza at 10, even at 9. I think bronzes need love, and there are plenty of bronzes that do. I completely agree. I would be absolutely okay with Lava being a 5 provision card again, for example. Compass is a 9 provision card. It should be a 9 provision card. It was built to be a 9 provision card. It's a good card. It should never have been nerfed. Golden Necker should have. Golden Necker should have become 10 provisions and worked the way it does now. Magic Compass should have been balanced differently, I agree. I've already said what I wish the second version did, but we'll skip over that because it's too late now. This either doesn't exist at 10, or is a good card at 9 that opens up an entire deck. The entire deck is significantly worse than it was then because it's lost loads of the tools it used. I still want to see it, and I hope I do. Also, I'm not nerfing Kraken. It's a buff. I might get 1 less point when it comes back across, but the lists that play Kraken don't have enough damage to get it to come back across consistently. So technically, I am lowering the floor of the card, but that's a buff so that I can make its Death Wish proc more consistently. Right? So, sure, I've lowered the floor, but I have raised the average consistency. No? So... And that's a possibility. But how often does it not work? Too often. Way too often. This card is reliant on you having that exact combo at the exact right moment and your opponent not finding some way to interfere in it. The easier, the better. Same with Lara Doran. The second kill of this is always difficult. Lower her base power is actually a buff. So, yeah. Which I'm happy with. So, personally. Kraken, see, I disagree. The other rain cards are phenomenal. They just don't have a high-end card that can stick on the board, in my opinion. So, buffing Compass and nerfing Golden Necker is a nerf to all non-syndicate Golden Necker, Skellige Golden Necker. There's one Skellige Golden Necker, there's one Skellige list in the meta. One solitary list. And it's neither of those things and doesn't get hurt by it. Self-Wound Sove, I keep calling it Golden Compass instead of Magic Compass. We're going to go with it. Last time Compass was at 9p, ladder was 50% Skellige Golden Necker. That's demonstrably false by all data. Yes, it was well played. It was not 50% ladder. Nothing's 50% ladder, and it didn't even have it had a 53% win rate at its height. It was played a lot, but it also had Roach, it also had Knickers, both of them now provisions more expensive? No, it's not. It demonstrably is. Like, the data's there. Oh. So... I understand you don't want to face it more. We don't need... Yeah, the hyperbole doesn't help. It did feel too common, I agree. But it wasn't... Like, it was still... You know? It's either that, or Pirates just doesn't exist. And that card doesn't exist, and I think that sucks. Personally. You guys don't have to vote with me. But the list that existed then... You know? So it's already 20% less. At high MMR, it was 30% plus. Again, what do you class as high MMR? Do you mean 2,500? Because it's only going to be that high until people finish their games with it to crack it through, right? So... I know it was very consistent. It was... Thought my flight had been delayed then. But yeah, I very much... This card is one that I think will genuinely... I think it'll get buffed this season. I think it'll get nerfed the one after. Then I think it'll get buffed again. And I actually think that's okay. I think it's okay. This is what we currently look like. A power... Sell me on a power increase, chat. Sell me on a power increase. Originally, I'd gone for Roach, but I don't want a power increase Roach. I think Roach should be a 9 provision card. Unseen Elder? No. Oh, Cleaver's Muscle. Ooh, Cleaver's Muscle's great. And you know what? I could be very swayed for Cleaver's Muscle because most people are going to try and delete Syndicate this time out. And I could see Cleaver's Muscle being useful to allow some sort of tedious mid-range. But I think Varena's got a better chance of getting a provision buff to 9. And I think that will help her more than a power buff. Crow Mother! You know what? Crow Mother... No! What do you mean they're in? Crow Mother. Yeah, Verena should be 9 provisions, 6 power. Crow Mother. No, I mean, there's only one Syndicate list, and it's Vice. And that's going to be deleted. Yeah, Crow Mother, you sold me. I could understand the argument for Cleaver's Muscle, and I think that change will already happen, because I've seen it to be a lot of people's first choice. These are my votes. How do you unsubmit? You just keep submitting. I can keep changing them. Oh god, 1 second. Okay, good. One sec. There we go. Freelancer, thank you so much for the follow. That's what we're going for. Submit. My votes are in. Ruin, yeah, and you know what? I like Ruin. How do you spell Ruin? And I'm absolutely okay with the idea of this getting a power increase to 4. I think it'd be really cool, and I think it would enable stuff. So, rather people gave Chroma than 9p. I'd be okay with Chroma at 9p as well. I just don't have it. Phoenix, maybe. Yeah, this going up to 4 base power, fine with, think it'd be fun. Don't know if it's enough to bring the deck to life, but it will certainly make it more playable, and I think people sleep on this card even now in some of the consumed decks. I agree with the sentiment on that one, Mosh. I think Druid's biggest weakness is its lack of control. There we are. This is probably going to be the most controversial one always. And I do think this will be the card that flips month on month. I really do. But I remember in the PTR, I remember when this card was designed, the whole purpose of this card is to play with Golden Necker, because everybody knows it doesn't exist without it. So, if it's not 9 provisions, it doesn't exist, and I think the ability is far too fun to let that happen, personally. Would I have balanced the second form of it differently? Yes, I would have done. We haven't, it is what it is. I think, personally, the nerfs should be elsewhere. For Golden Necker lists. Roach is no longer available, Knickers costs more, blah blah blah. Golden Necker itself will also probably be more expensive, because I'm very sure people will nerf it. So, yes. That, my friends, is my votes. I can completely understand votes for Cleaver's Muscle, for Ruin. I know a lot of people will be voting for things like blah blah blah. Temple of Melitele to go up in provisions, for example, which I'd be fine with. Wouldn't be surprised to see Svalblood get a nerf. Lots of people are trying to absolutely kill the Vice deck, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. Other things I think we might see. A Nero going to 12. I've not seen anybody suggest that. I'd be very surprised if a Nero went to 12. I'd be very surprised. Oh, and I think people will try... Golden Necker Compass wasn't funny, and with the new SK cards it won't be better. New SK... Golden Necker Compass will be worse now than it was then. In my opinion. Will it all of a sudden, if it's possible, again be played? Of course it will. Does that mean as a result people will nerf it? Of course it does. But it's one of the cards that sits in that weird... A single change either makes it good or unplayable, right? Up for consistency being cheaper. I'm okay with consistency being cheaper, but I think a Nero sits at a good spot. We have another month of Golden Necker Pirates. You definitely won't. Firstly, because these changes will only exist for 2 weeks. So, if that's the case, well, it just won't happen, right? People will vote to change it. This stuff's in for 2 weeks, guys. This is all it's going to be there for. So I honestly think people will try and play it, and it will fall to pieces. Just my prediction. I don't think the Golden Necker Pirates list that used to exist can cut it now. I'm going to be honest. Why only 2 weeks? Because there are 2 balance changes in November, not just 1. So the devs have more time to experience it and see what happens. So that's the reason that it is there. It's the only reason that it's there. Yeah. And here's the thing. My biggest concern with the whole process, Mosh, I agree with you. It'll 100% go back. I don't think it should, but I think it will. If it's super prevalent, in which case then it does. And it'll be one of those cards that comes in and out, and some months you see it and some months you don't. And I'm alright with that. I'm going to be honest, I'm alright with it. The thing is, there are more cards in need of buffing than cards in need of nerfing, right? Horns should not be 14 provisions. This should be a 13 provision card. For me, it's an easy buff. You know? I'd be very happy to see this at 13. I'm really surprised more people haven't tried to go after Fukusha to make it a 15. I also think Renfrey should probably be slightly better than it is now. Mullane, yeah, I could see cards like Mullane getting a buff, which I'd be fine with. I also expect, actually, I low-key expect this to go up to 4 base power. I think that might actually go back to 4 again. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope other people use that, you know. I hope we see things like Indraga Lava get buffed to 5. I think that would be really good fun. I'm worried since there is no hotfixes, we'll wait to see if the cards are mega broken. I don't think anything like... Yeah, Saskia got nerfed too much. Lots of cards have been double nerfed when they didn't need to be. There are several examples of double nerfs that just make me sad. And will continue to make me sad. Spring Equinox, the double nerf was unnecessary. It took Symbiosis from consistently really good to relegated to tier 3 again. One of the two nerfs would have been sufficient. You didn't want it to be replayed loads of times? Fine, the Doomed is okay, but losing the extra 2 points on it's just harsh. For me. It already plays into its own. So yeah, I think some of them... Sometimes the double nerfs were too much, and I'm happy. I understand why they do it, because it will forcibly remove something from the meta, because we're about perception. And Saskia is definitely strong. Yeah. Mamuna with the next drop, it would have been obsolete. Mamuna has the first. Yeah. You sent you a screenshot of yours. Okay. Let's have a look. So you've power increased Ruin, Hafru Singer. Ooh, don't know if I like Hafru Singer at 6. Unseen Elder. Unseen Elder at 7. 7 power. Isn't that just busted as fuck? It means it has to be locked or heatwaved. Isn't that just busted? Card's got a ceiling of like, yes. Oh, Hafru's a 4 now, never mind. Yeah, okay. Hafru at 5 I'm okay with. I like Hafru. And Unseen Elder does fit in that weird no one plays it, but no one plays it because Vampire Devotion sucks and isn't the best way to play it. Not because the card sucks. This card's the definition of put it behind defender, win the round. The card's nuts in Devo. I don't know if a power increase makes me happy. So I'm not sold on that one. So, personally, Elder's better non-Devo. Elder's better when it does less. Not sure the math checks out there. Oh, the deck is better. Vampires is better non-devotion, I agree. And it's really sad that this card's ability is tied to devotion because it just meh. Right? Because of Oriana. I appreciate that it triggers it, but Arcane's Oriana, meh. This card's giving bleeding every turn too. So you're always going to have bleeding for Regis, so it doesn't affect that. Yeah, it'll trigger them through quicker, but I would say, point for point, no. If this sits on the board in non-Devo for 10 turns and sits on the board in Devo for 10 turns, it does more and gets more value, for sure. I know it makes bleeds run out quicker, but it also applies them too, right? So you're not playing Devotion the same way you're playing non-Devotion. That makes sense. I think Oriana's a card that makes me sad because I just feel like she's not worth it in Vampires anymore. Either way, this one I don't like. Power decrease Nausea Sergeant I'm on board with. Your favored one is making this a 3. Am I? Actually, no, I'm not. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think this card's really irritating if you play against Nilfgaard and let them take round control, but you know what? I don't think you could have this as a 3 power brick. That I think it might go through. I just don't like it. I also would prefer a provision buff for it, Mosh, actually. I would be fine with it at 11. Either way. I don't know how I feel about that, because yes, the card's irritating. The slave driver nonsense, yeah. But I can understand people wanting to nerf it. Slave driver, again, I think this should be a provision nerf. I think slave drivers, based on what they enable, are genuinely 6p cards. If I could set it so that this was a 4 base power, 6 provision card, I think that would actually be better. Personally. Personally. But obviously you can't do both simultaneously, and I'm worried that we won't be able to convince people to give it the power buff when we give it the provision nerf. So, Killing Gore, it's not a nerf, bud. It's 100% not a nerf. It does objectively lower the ceiling of it, so you could say it's a nerf to the card's ceiling, but the consistency of getting it will be massively higher. Like, hugely higher. You also went for Angus Breakery to get a power nerf. It enables some sketchy crap. Removing it at 6 is easier than removing it at 7. I'm not sure this is where the nerf needs to go, but if it happens, I'd be okay with it. Provision nerfs, Care Trolled, 100%. I think most people will go with that. Card's really good. And that's amazing for you. That's really great. I promise you, there are numerous times when it doesn't work out for you too, and 2500 is okay. Rain can get to 2500 because it's one of those decks that isn't being played a lot, people aren't used to, and is really good against greedy shit. Play Rain the first week of a season and get to 2500. But it doesn't mean the card isn't objectively buffed. Right? If that's the case, you should be happy, because you'll pull it off even more. Maybe you'll get to 2510. But yes, Care Trolled. I think this will get nerfed. I don't think there's any more we need to talk about. Battle Stations, personally, for me, this 100% is going to be the top one. Should get a provision nerf. Imperial Marine is Moshcraft's other, taking it to 6 provisions. Again, I think Slave Driver is the problem more than this, but fine. Mosh, I can only see your decreases as in Draga Lava. What were the other two? And I agree with Draga Lava, by the way. So, Marine is a 5, but the replayability of it and the amount of them they can get is what concerns me. I think this is a 5 provision card. Oh, Parasite to 5. Don't know how I feel about that. Interesting. I agree with Draga Lava. Imlerith. What, to 8? Nah, it's fine. Interesting. Okay. Well, we shall see what's made of it. We will see what is made of it. I think quite a few. Imlerith, yeah. Imlerith's one of those cards that I'm just fed up, right? Every faction has 5p removal, yeah, but Parasite's 6 damage. No other faction has 6 damage at 5, right? Unless I'm wrong. Skellige does, I suppose. But Skellige's built around it. Assassination's very situational now. I suppose, yeah, Skellige's got Stunning Blow, sorry. But it only does it if there's armor. Like, super situationally, yes, but it doesn't trade for that frequently. Right? Like, Assassination is just worse now. Like... Decoction, isn't that a 6 still, or did that get buffed? Yeah, Decoction's a 6. For me, it's the same as this. Here's my thing, right? If we buff Parasite to 5, we're giving the ability, and then nerfing lots of cards down within the 6p range, we're making it so that those cards aren't worth running. Right? Like, the reach of it, you're trading up so heavily. Paying 5 provisions to get a 12 provision card, for instance, would feel... Right? I love the rework of Decoction, by the way. Like, this is so much better that it's both. Because also it means they can't run both, which makes me happy. And then Delirium got a cool rework. We don't see this as much as we should, by the way. Yeah, monsters actually, monsters have a decent amount of mid-range. They're in a better spot than they've ever been, I think. For that. Yeah, I'm not convinced on the Parasite one. But we'll see what happens. They are my votes, friends. You have them all. Now, Monsters Big Weeks, yeah. Yeah, they've got point slam. They thin better than they used to by quite a bit. But they're not as... Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have, you know, people are going to want to target specific factions and things. That's completely normal, and I'm alright with it. But I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to raid the other Lionheart. Other Lionheart has raided us plenty of times, and we like Other Lionheart. He's wonderful. He's currently playing Total War Pharaoh. So, we are going to go over there. I have clicked submit, yes. So, get your Lionheart raid messages out, okay? Total War Pharaoh, he's the other Lionheart. He is the Total War Lionheart. I'm the non-Total War Lionheart. He's a genuinely lovely chap. All the time in the world for him, and he's raided us a few times as well. So, I would love to see our raid messages spammed in his channel now. I would really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with Gwent and probably Baldur's Gate 3 as well. Wednesday and Thursday I should be live too. Before Friday I will be off. I'm likely live either Saturday or Sunday this week for a bonus stream, so keep your eyes on that. Thank you for joining me. Love you as always, my friends. And let's get over there and get those shields up. Come on, let's go in and let's take over Other Lionheart's channel. Thank you for being here. Love you. On YouTube, obviously, you aren't going to get raided, so sorry about that. There's not a function for it, but I really appreciate you for being here. Bye, guys.